up stream real fast. All right. So last week, after making your way to the city of Shady Creek Run, you all very quickly dispersed throughout the city in order to get some things accomplished. The first thing was that Yotev, Killian, and Lisbeth went and got a name and a location to go and talk to someone within one of the family houses to try to see if they could make a quick connection and meet with a member of one of the I guess the children of the houses in order to hopefully gain an ally against the Ivory Claw. Um, Additionally, during this time, we had Varnex and Kenji go into the trench, into more or less the Lion's Den, where they ran into not the Ivory Claw, but a different group that referred to themselves as the Mysticani. The dwarvish man that sat across the table from them laid out a generous deal. You simply need to hand over Yotev, and in return, you get both kids, and you get Ekith, the man that Varnex is hunting, served up on a silver platter. And in his eyes, that's a win-win. Um, that deal was sort of tentatively put onto a table to be worked on later. One of the other members of this Mysticani group seems to be writing up a contract. Certainly, is his first, and he hasn't done this before. And in the process of that, you went back to inform the others of this contract. The last group being Cassandra and Aiden talked with a fence downstairs who was slightly appalled at the insinuation that you would come to her and ask to cut her out of a deal. Actually, we don't want to deal with you. We want to deal with someone else. But after a quick explanation of what you really meant, it sort of turned into a sure, I can see if I can set something up. I can take this rare and interesting material off of your hands, and in return, I can get you a audience with this same person that Yotev and Lisbeth and Killian were trying to uh, um, get in contact with. The last thing that happened is as you all reconvened and regrouped, a very quick conversation happened in which you were just told about, basically divulged everything that went on. Two people have two different leads on getting to Zorka, and the group of Kenji and Varnex had the news of, hey, by the way, we have this deal where all we got to do is sell Yotev over, to which there was a surprisingly not necessarily saying that everyone who didn't say something was on board with selling him over, but there wasn't as much protest as may be comfortable for you, Yotev. Um, Certainly, one individual kept very quiet during that conversation. And then the other news being that, speaking of people who have gone quiet, the sparkling seems to not be responding. Um, so, as a result, we're gonna pick up there with this conversation. As you've, the last thing that happened, uh, I almost said Urk, and then I almost said Rook. This is really fucking with my head at this point. Uh, Kenji goes outside of the tent and stretches their consciousness out in an attempt to see what might have happened to the sparkling, and saw that there was no sense of the sparkling across the street, and instead, when looking into the object that the sparkling resides within, um, you could tell that there was some sort of vacuum there, that there was something drawing in on itself, which caused an element of concern and uh, came very close to touching whatever was on the other end, but was able to pull yourself out before something happened. Who knows what would have happened? And so we come back after that event with the rest of you still inside the tent, talking about what needs to be done, how you're going to do it, when you need to do it by. And Kenji, you're sort of outside holding the still dormant sparkling. Pick up there. What is the plan?
So, my lead doesn't really have anything we can do right now. I need to wait for them to come to us. Yotev, you said you all found someone we can try to talk to?
Yes, his name is Tior. He's a big Leonin man, scars on his snout. I found out that we could find him at the Speakeasy. It is a watering hole place in town. And we found out that he works directly under Zorka. So it'd be pretty quickly direct to get in with the family.
Do we think that's our best course of action right now?
Definitely to get in touch with the family, yes, the Trivanes. I think that's a good idea. It beats us having to wait for anyone else to tell us anything.
So we're not going to talk about the plan that I could just pull off.
Could you really pull it off? I don't know if you can. You walked
Nope.
you walked right in there, and now the sparkling is gone.
All right.
Like, what? I need to know that your plan will actually work, because as far as I know, with just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us, we can't make it in and out of there alive. I don't know. I don't know how anyone else feels about this.
I think I'm still inside the tent, so I wouldn't have.
How well worse? I'm sorry, my Discord is being How well worse?
Varnex's plan. Because I don't think that we could make it through things with the Ivory Claw without outside help. There's only 7 of us.
I think we should look into every angle possible so that way we can have a plan B or plan C.
I agree. That's not a bad idea or way of thinking.
I don't think the plan is impossible. I don't know if time is on our side with that plan. I don't know how quickly you can convince him that it's something worth doing. And I don't know
That's
how long
true.
we have.
The option I really don't want to do necessarily, but I will if I absolutely have to, would be that I do give myself up.
You won't have to do that. Varnex walks out.
As soon as Varnex walks out, I will pick myself up quickly and ask him what the plan is.
You need to go back in and talk to them. I got stuff I need to do. Figure out how you can get the sparkling back.
Ow.
I will go back into the tent. And
Did you
walk in.
figure anything out, Kenji?
I couldn't find him. I don't know. It's
Hey, Fabian.
yeah,
You're real low.
better.
Yes, thank you. Continue, I'm so sorry.
I didn't sense it, but I sensed the excitement and people excited about new possibilities. But I can't sense the sparkling itself.
Like in a... Just that you don't know where it is? Or that it's... Whether it's alive?
I don't know. I really don't.
When I hear that, I'll pull out the planar lodestone. Since we initially found sparkling in a different plane, and just see if I can find anything around us.
Ooh, interesting. Ooh.
Michael, you tricky bitch. You wasn't expecting this.
Shit, I've got to make a decision now. How does this work?
You give him an item and you don't know how to work it.
Well, I know how the item works. I'm questioning how something else will interact with it.
Don't you love that we have Michael to do weird stuff for you? Just always keeps you on your toes, Caleb.
Isn't that weird?
Look at me. No. My point still stands,
Michael, she's trying to give you a compliment. God, just take it.
right?
Oh, I'm messing with you.
It would. Where are we turning this on?
I think we were in a room still, right?
I thought we were in the tent. You might need
I
to
think
go
the question is, are you doing it inside of the tent or leaving the tent? Because right now
Oh.
everyone is inside of the tent.
I would do it from outside of the tent, but like in a room.
Is that the clarifying question, Caleb?
Yeah, so you leave the tent. Everyone else staying inside?
I'll
We're going
follow
out with
as
it.
it pertains to sparkling.
I will also follow and tell everybody that let's go out. See what happens.
Okay.
Go follow.
I guess I'll follow as well.
Lisbeth is
go
gonna
with it.
stay to be a contrarian.
What?
Fair.
Roll a straight d20 for me, Michael.
Make it fucking happen, man.
Say 14.
Okay. You see that the smoke appears in the middle of the orb, shifts to the side of the glass, and shifts to a glossy black color.
I mean, clearly everybody knows what that means.
That glossy black cloud seems to line up on the outside of this crystal, the sort of orb, in the direction of Kenji.
Oh. Why is it pointing at me?
Would I understand, like, what that means at all?
You're gonna have to give me more than that. What do you mean by, do you understand what that means?
So pointing towards him would indicate that there's something in that direction, right? But then the glossy black is that something I recognize, or is that something new?
That is a coloration you are unfamiliar with.
Okay.
Don't you have like a fucking pamphlet or something?
I think I researched some and learned about a few, but not a lot.
Yeah. There's a pamphlet that comes with the orb that does have a nifty little notebook for like the most common ones. So he has access to the Prime Material, Feywild, Shadowfell, and the 4 main elemental planes. This is none of those. He rolled well and got ooze once before.
So, Kenji, I don't know exactly what this means, but this usually points towards the rifts between different planes.
Mm-hmm.
It's pointing towards you, and I don't know what plane this is.
Okay. It's weird. How do we fix your thing? It seems like it's broken. Why would they sell us a faulty one that points towards people?
Can I do an insight check on Kenji to see if he's like avoiding something at this point? Like if that hearing that from Aiden triggered something in him?
Yeah, roll an insight check.
While he's doing that, can I walk around to look at the orb at a different angle?
Yeah. You gotta walk around to the other side, and the smoke seems to slowly shift to follow your. It seems to be lagging a little bit, but so as you begin to walk, it slowly starts to follow you, and then when you stop, it slowly stops.
Can I tell if the item is functioning properly?
Make an Arcana check.
Insight 19.
Okay.
Ooh.
I want to see the Arcana check real fast, and I'll get back to that.
I'm gonna use a Ring of Puzzler's Wit to roll
Mhm.
at advantage.
Okay.
19.
The orb definitely looks to be functioning as you would expect it to. Nothing about its function seems to be faulty. I mean, this is a item that you yourself are not very familiar with. You
Mhm.
don't. You're not very. You have not spent a lot of time with this object, nor do you have a strong understanding of how it functions.
Sure.
But from a rudimentary understanding of just how these things work, you cannot come up with a reason as to why this would not be functioning properly.
Okay.
It seems to be pretty solid in its as it stands. For Killian, you watched as it followed Kenji this whole time. This whole time, Kenji's also holding on to the sparkling. You reach down and you grab the sparkling and lift it up and hold it up well above Kenji's head, and the smoke shifts to point in an upward direction following the movement of your hand.
Interesting.
Breathe a sigh of relief.
I guess I just pointed out to everyone else.
What? I don't.
Well, it's following whatever's in here.
Well, I mean, that's where Kenji's supposed to be. How can that have a gate? Or a rift?
I don't know why the sparkling itself would be showing as a rift, but I do know that the rifts we found before, as they linger and open, more things start to escape them. And last time we were in whatever space we found the sparkling in,
Mhm.
there were other entities there.
Above board, weren't they trying to capture him, and that's why we took him?
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Something might be trying to take it back.
Well, if this isn't able to help us find the sparkling, and Kenji, you weren't able to reach out and able to see where exactly the sparkling is, Cassandra, is there anything that you could do? I know your powers of fortune telling might lend to this being able to locate where it is or how we might be able to get it back,
I mean, I can try.
or seeing a scenario in which we get it back.
I mean, I haven't done my like big reading for the day, so we can attempt to. Let's go back in the tent. I'll just go back inside and
Sorry to be walking back and forth.
sit down at my table, and whoever wants to watch can watch because I don't really care.
I will say, as people go in, Aiden, I'm gonna put you last on the way in. As Kenji and the sparkling go into the tent, that is no longer something the lodestone can lock onto, and the lodestone then shifts. The direction stays the same, but the coloration shifts from that glossy black to a viridian color.
My tit has magic.
The Feywild. Know that one.
That's fun.
What color is green? Is that what it is? Viridian is green?
I think it's Viridian's green.
Oh, okay.
out of character. That makes me happy.
There are too many. I'll be abundantly clear. There are far too many planes to stick to solely primary colors. You gotta get a little wonky with the colors.
Yeah.
So it's specifically Viridian. There are other greens on this list.
Emerald chartreuse.
Okay, I will
Emerald is definitely one.
sit at my table.
No chartreuse.
Cassandra, would because we're all connected to the sparkling, or were connected to the sparkling, would our presence or a connection with us would that be helpful?
I think it wouldn't help. I'm going to assume that Elizabeth is with us, correct?
Yeah, she stayed inside.
If that's the case, then not to be like rude in any capacity, Elizabeth, but if part of the intention is everybody to like kind of help with this, if you're okay with it, if you don't mind stepping out of the tent because you don't have a connection with this, and I don't want to accidentally pull on like your kids or anything like that, because I know you're very like focused on finding them and stuff. If that would be okay for a couple of minutes, but please don't be upset with that request.
Or
You know,
she'll stand up and take a step outside.
to make it, you know, kick you out, but not like kick you out. You know what I mean? And then I guess we can kumbaya this, and I'll have everybody hold hands.
I'll
Or
be standing
whoever's
next
next to me touch me, but not hold hands because I have to deal the deck. But everybody has to hold hands.
Should I stay watching Elizabeth?
Now you gotta be with us. We're gonna do this as a group stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by you.
Yeah, the only one we're missing is Varnax right now because he walked out of the tent.
Well, we all walked out of the tent.
No, he like left.
Oh, where's he at?
Don't know. He said, "I got shit to do."
All right, then we'll do it without Dad. That's cool. That's all.
Are you going outside of the tent? You staying inside, Killian?
Stay inside.
So Elizabeth will be on watch, just sort of in the room, and the rest of you gather around. For the sake of making things more interesting, we're going to make this a 5-card reading.
Okay.
The first card that you pull
This is how we die.
Yeah, we're all connected, and Varnax is left by himself.
of all the things it could have been, this is a wild one to be. This is how it. The first one that you pull is a image of a high top tent, purples and blues and stars
Crazy.
around it.
Yeah.
A large table, wooden, with small knickknacks and charms and pieces around, melted candles with melted wax rolling off the sides. In the middle of it is a crystal ball. You see a set of splayed cards out around it. On one top of a stack of books in one corner is a winged cat curled up on top taking a nap, and an image of yourself, the magician. As you play the card, it is you see your own visage in this moment, and as you are shown the picture seems to sort of slowly animate. The tense edges sort of wobble with some unseen wind. The Tressum sort of stirs in its sleep. The cards on the table shudder a little bit as pages are moved. And I would like if you could.
Roll for initiative.
Yeah. Gonna start
Yeah.
doing some saving throws.
Everybody
Roll
roll
3
for
death
an-
saving throws.
Let's not.
Cassandra, can you roll a? Make it a straight charisma check.
Charisma's plus 7. What's 16 plus 7?
Charisma check. Saving throw.
Yeah, just a check.
4.
20.
Oh, dirty 20. So sorry.
Okay.
I did do the saving throw. My clothes correct. So sorry.
You. How much do you recall of your own image behind you?
Like that you just described?
No, during the. This is months and months and months ago.
Oh, of like when I first described what the inside of the tent looks like?
No. When this connection with the sparkling was
Oh,
created.
my image in the stars?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, I'm with it. Or do you want me to answer that question?
Do you how much of it do you remember? Do you recall?
I mean, pretty vividly because that was very dramatic and very cool.
You, as you close your eyes, there is a brief flash of that you see sort of surrounding you in this moment of almost like you are encapsulated in it in a bubble, and you watch as just the edges of the coloration begin to become pulled, as if a fabric that's being unwound, unraveled, and it seems to just sort of be quickly yanked towards some unseen center point between the five of you that are holding hands. They're touching on, they're sort of grabbing onto your shoulders as you're grabbing it. You see this sort of slowly thread itself away into this center. As you focus on it, this charisma check is made, and all of a sudden that string goes taut and stops unraveling. There's still like threads that are waving in some unseen wind at this point, but it is holding. Not strongly, but it's holding. We're going to cut the next card. As you pull out the next card, it is a
This is my favorite thing about my characters that I've made.
The next card that you pull is a individual with a long sort of traveling cloak, scuffed leathers, a walking stick in one hand, sort of slight bit of dirtiness to the face and the arms from traveling, just dust getting kicked up on them. A sort of rolling bit of arcana off of them, as they have a natural affinity for the land. There is a bit of the dirt is hard to see because of the darker skin, the bright red hair, but it is the hermit. Looks a lot like Aiden. And
Aww,
Yeah, I had a feeling.
as
you get
as
the
you s-
hermit.
as you see this image, there is a similar aura that you watch appear around Aiden, who currently has his hand on your shoulder as you're drawing these cards. Bright and fiery red, sort of embers of almost like fireflies blinking in and out around him. Aiden, can I get you to make me a wisdom check?
Oh my god, we all get to roll. This is so fun.
22.
22. Very similarly, you both, Aiden, you're now sort of beginning to see this as you watch this sort of, you feel like a heat rise, and as it does, the air around you almost begins to get that heat haze to it, and turns red, and you see this aura around yourself as it begins to unravel towards the same center, the two parts of your strings going and disappearing at the same point between you both, and you're able to pull yours taut as well before too much is pulled away and lost. There is a feeling of anxiety as it's slipping away, and the moment it pulls taut, it is less a relief and more of a moment's ability to breathe as you look over and a new aura begins to form. The next card that is put down is a it is a lone tree where on top of a sort of hill or bluff, that as the image is laid down, the sort of animation behind it is the sun beginning to set. There are on the hillside, down the picture, the forms of armor, broken weaponry, shattered shields, skulls and pieces of debris all the way down the side of it. There stands a lone figure next to the tree, hand sort of placed on it, looking up, as you lay down the hanged man with a depiction of Killian on it.
Oh fuck.
Killian, as this is laid down in front of you, you feel this sort of cold as a setting sun begins to sap the heat away from around you. Heat and temperature has not been something that you feel a lot of personal need for, but seeing as you don't need food, you don't need sleep, you don't even really need all that much rest. But as you feel this heat go away, for some reason there's this part of you that feels like the moment that the heat is gone, everything is lost, and there's like this anxiety and fear of it going away and never coming back. Can I get you to make a constitution check for me?
Hello, Killian.
Do I add to this?
This is just your constitution modifier.
8 total.
8 total. You watch as this aura appears around Killian, who's Aiden and Killian. Are you guys holding hands? Are you like dude bro arm holding, or just sort of on each other's shoulders? What's the
I would be holding hands.
Okay. You watch as that string unravels and begins to yank even harder as it just begins to get pulled and pulled and pulled, and the speed at which it's going, that anxiety swells within you, as there is a very similar moment of just terror in your mind. The connection between this string, this fabric sort of aura around you, and the connection with the entity that you met a while ago. As that happens, a fourth aura begins to appear. You see a large workspace, pieces and parts all around this giant circular, almost workbench-esque table, a form behind it with tools in both hands, plans off to the side that it seems to be studying. You feel like a glow on one side as there is a forge off nearby, as this giant circular thing, table in front, it is sectioned off into different parts. These different symbols all around the edges. Don't necessarily know what the meaning of these symbols are, but that they are there and that they seem of great importance. As you lay it down, it is Yotev. It is the Wheel of Fortune. It is reversed.
Oh.
As you place down this wheel, Yotev, you see that similar aura around you, but you also feel the weight within your chest of the lock from so long ago. I need you to make an intelligence check for me.
I love that we're all involved in this. Brings me great joy.
That's a 7. I'd like to use Flash of Genius to add 4 to that.
Okay. You watch that thread begin to pull, and that as this begins to slip away from you, you don't know why it is so important for you to save the thing in front of you, but it feels like you are desperate to save it. And as it continues to unravel, you get these sort of mental images of all the other things that you're struggling to keep holding together, things that aren't working the way that they should. They're not holding themselves fast like you want them to. Things that no matter how hard it seemed that you worked on them, no matter how much attention or time you put into it, they all seemed to disappear anyway. At the moment that those things cross your mind, your attention lacks, and that string is yanked even harder towards the center, and you watch as it begins to unravel at the same speed of Killian's. The last sphere that appears is one in which you see a lone space. It is empty and it is hollow. There are no discernible objects around, save for a small table with what look to be figures around the table. Entities that you know do not carry with them any spark or semblance of life. They are simply husks, dolls, if you will. Sitting at the head of the table, you see the form of Kenji, holding in one hand an orb that shines with the light of the sun, and another orb that seems to draw all light into it. As he's holding it there, he seems to try to offer this to the others, but as I said before, they are husks. They do not have life in them. They do not react. They do not move. As you place the death card down. Kenji, can you please make a dex?
Is death upright or reversed?
Death is upright.
So I'm just adding my my plus to it. It would be
Yes.
a dirty 20.
Just the
15 plus
Okay.
5.
You see this begin to leave, and you have a very similar thought to Yotev of things that you can't control, things that slip away, and there is a obsessive nature that has come over you in recent days. Things that slip away from you make you angry, they upset you, and you don't want them to be able to slip away. So as this string begins to unravel and that aura begins to full out, there is a hard and angry reaction to it that causes the string to go taut and completely stop before too much is gone. Where Yotev has this moment of things are falling apart and isn't able to really put them back together. A lot of it is because the things in front of him he sees as precious, and if they break or are destroyed, there is a cost, there is a weight to that destruction. There is a very different motivation within you, Kenji. These things are precious, sure, but you will break them before you lose them. You would rather them be turned to dust than them no longer belong to you. And so as they begin to unravel, there's no gentleness in handling this situation. There is but a stern and incredibly firm, resolute denial of escape. Varnex, as you slip in quietly, you see this circle, you see this strange aura radiating off of everyone. You are watching as both Killian and Yotev's auras are quickly fading. Is there anything you'd like to do in this moment?
You're muted, Dad.
I'll add a prayer and see if my aura can help bolster theirs or infuse itself in the circle.
You go forward and you place your hands on both. Yes.
Didn't Varnax leave the tent and go, like, walk away because he said he had other shit to do?
Yep.
Did he come back?
He just said I slipped in quietly.
Oh, sorry. I didn't miss that entirely.
Yeah. As you place your hands on both of their shoulders, you feel that slipping away. And Cassandra, as you're going, sometimes readings are pretty straightforward. Sometimes there feels like there's other pieces that are missing. This feels like there's something missing. And as your hands touch the shoulders of Yotev and Killian, which instead of being that, it's more that, but whatever. As that happens, another card comes out and you lay down a sixth and final card. You see a intense looking suit of armor, a sword in one hand, a shield planted into the ground, hand atop of it, holding it up on the other. A large sort of draconic drake-like form laid next to it. And as it stands there resolute, there is a heat rising behind him. Instead of it being this setting sun that Killian saw, it is a rising sun. It is something coming forth. It is something anew coming. As you lay the card with Varnex's depiction on it, the card of strength. As you lay that down, please make a strength check.
13. Let's see. That
And
would
the-
be. What is my strength modifier? Where does it say that at on this new? Oh, +9. So
It should be just the modifier, not the saving throw.
So we like
which-
1 to 5. What's your number of strength?
20. So 5.
So 5.
It's a
yeah.
5.
Why doesn't it not show that on the freaking sheet anymore?
It's silly.
It's
Oh,
on
I
like
got
the
a 18.
gear at the very top.
Oh yeah, it's at the very top in the middle. But 18.
Yeah.
You feel that you feel them slipping a little bit. And you grab onto their shoulders, and as you do, I'm so sorry. Hurrah.
The only one that was inverted was
Wheel of
Yota's.
Fortune.
Yeah, mine was reversed.
Everybody else's was normal, yeah. Do you write everybody's down?
Wheel of Fortune reversed.
Well, the card that's associated with you is just the card that's associated with you, regardless of if it's inverted or not.
Yotev got reverse Unode.
Yeah. Well, he said Wheel of Fortune reversed, but with the depiction of like me on it.
I still have my my thing on. My kid's throwing a temper tantrum. So when he gets back, you can just keep going. And if you need me, just say my name. And then give me like less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
Tell them I love them.
How was everyone's week?
Exhausting.
Very real.
Get ready for open enrollment season, so it's like all the trainings are happening, and like meetings and trainings daily.
Ugh, that's awful.
And it's kind of expected, though. You know, like I'm not too worried about it. It's just that time of the year.
Yeah, that's so fair. Kids went back to school, so I'm on the bus. Monday through Friday. I'm trying to think of cantrips I would want to use with this all-purpose tool. Because I get an additional one as an action for 8 hours a day. Once a day. There's a few I really like.
All right. Apologies. As that card is laid, you feel the pull of your energy sort of into the other two. They're spinning threads, the things that are pulling away, seems to slow a bit. That strength within you, you feel being unraveled, and in an order of defiance and an element that is very descriptive of your patron, of your deity, a greed of not wanting what is yours to be taken, snatch and hold that tightly as well as your string is stopped. As all of these occur, you watch as in the middle, a small knot has been formed, this bound section in the middle. And Cassandra, as these cards have been laid out, this is very different than most of your other readings. Most of the other readings tell stories, or at least parts of stories. Things that lead one into the other, into the next. And what you see here is instead more of a snapshot. This is a current state.
All right.
And in this current state, there is something that pulled into this center, something that drew in and was unraveling. Some withheld better than others, but on the average, the party was able to hold. Your mind, with this now seemingly held at bay, dips forward as your attention draws into this center. The exact question at the heart of this reading, what was it?
Probably, how do we save the Sparkling? Would probably be the thing that she was most concerned about. Because it's probably the thing that she cares the most about is his well-being. Whether or not we necessarily get him back is not as important as, like, him being okay long term, if that makes sense. So it's probably how to save him, because in her mind, he's been taken by people she does not know. So she doesn't trust them and is worried about him. It would probably be saving him above all else. That would be my
You
guess.
see, as your mind dips forward, a vision of pure black. There is no light here. There is no warmth. There is solely darkness. And as you try to focus, you feel this sort of wall approach you, though you can't see it. Instinctively put out your hands and you touch the end. As you wipe your hand across it, it has this glossy black texture, this glossy black look. You feel a presence as a second hand touches the wall. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. As you don't see, but all the individuals that have gathered around who have their hands, shoulders, holding hands with one another, their presence joins you here. It's just enough for your hand to pass through. It does. You sort of slip in, and there is a vision beyond what most would be that most would imagine that they would see in a lifetime. there is a hole in the bottom of your sight. And coming down from the sky are these vortexes almost. Vortex of ash, vortex of dust, vortex of salt, and a vacuumous sucking vortex that all meet at the bottom in this hole. As you push through the wall, you're met with this vision. All of these materials sort of coalescing at the base of this space. You feel the presence of the sparkling somewhere here.
Did you say that we're with
And
her?
there was a moment of the wall as these hands all sort of hit around that connection of you all passing through allowed her to move into this space.
Gotcha.
As you feel that presence, it immediately recognizes you back. And you get a feeling of relief, then fear and anxiety, and then an urgency. It is relieved to see you, fearful as to why you're here, anxious at your presence, and then a desire for you to all in the span of a second. Yes.
Okay.
The image in front of you slowly begins to fade, but you feel the sparkling there one last moment before you are pushed out by the sparkling itself. And in this moment, in this pushback, the sparkling sends a idea or a concept to your mind of this is not a safe place for you. I have retreated here. I must find my own way back. And you feel it let out a wave of energy. As that energy hits you, it shoves you back through the wall and back into your own body as the vision fades.
Before, while is it possible to have, the second I recognized that I could feel the sparkling, could I have tried, to pull it back to me before it even, recognized that I was there, if that makes sense? In that second before it was hello, you're here. Okay, bye. Could I have been there you are, come with me, kind of vibe, if that makes sense?
Like
And
a
then-
How would
couple.
you like to have attempted this?
So in my mind, the original vision that we had is here's all of these threads of fate, essentially, that connect us to the sparkling. And with everybody else, me seeing those threads again during the reading, in my mind, I would see that thread as a lifeline to that person and try to pull it physically, as if it were a tangible, real thing, even though I know it's not a tangible, real thing, but emotionally and spiritually or whatever, I would want to pull on it the same way that I feel like I would do if I were trying to reach out to anybody else, of this is my connection to you. This is like that's how I see everybody connected, right? Is through that thread the same way, if that makes sense. So I would want to pull on that towards me the second I recognized that I could see the sparkling. And I would have said that before you said he was going to push me out regardless, to be so clear. I just didn't want to interrupt your visionary montage because it was very good.
Um, can you make me a Here's what I want to do. Aiden, what's your wisdom mod?
+4.
4. What's your charisma, Cassandra?
+4.
Intelligence, Yotev?
+4.
Dex, Kenji?
5.
Con, Killian?
Plus
And then dad is a 5 for strength.
5 for strength.
That is correct.
Do we
Oh,
fit
I
all?
realized
I was
that you
like,
just
fit every
gave us
single.
all, yeah, assigned us all a thing. That's really
Yeah,
fun.
for sure.
I didn't recognize that till just now. That's very fun.
Look at the 6 of us. That makes sense. We each have like a specialization stat. That's cool.
So Fragon's gotten ahead of me. I need you to roll a DC. I need you to roll a D20
Who?
using Aiden's wisdom, your charisma, Varnex's strength, the con of Killian, the dex of Kenji, and the intelligence of Yotev. You have a 26 to this roll. Your DC is 40. That means you need to roll a 14 or above.
Can I use my inspiration to roll with advantage?
I hate that I have to say yes to that.
Wow, that's awesome though.
I have it
I'll roll
still.
it.
This feels like a good reason to use
We have
it.
to beat a 40.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, fuck you.
What?
No, Ryan. I know what Ryan wants to do.
Why?
It's just an
go ahead.
emergency. I
Yeah,
just need
just
to
an
know.
emergency. It's fine. Yeah.
I got a 17 on one and a 15 on the other, so I would have beat it.
Never
Okay,
mind.
so
I don't need it.
17 plus 26, real
I
fast.
can add
Anybody?
Flash of Genius to you for if I could when you two. But I'm not
42,
going
isn't
to.
it?
Did
42.
I?
Is it?
Because you don't need
42?
it.
It's 43. 'Cause it
I
was-
need to save those. I only get 4 of
Yeah.
those a day.
Plus 26.
Yeah, 43.
Oh damn, I was 1 off. I'm old.
That hole that you make, you struggle and you lean back as hard as you can, and you feel yourself, instead of pulling the sparkling out, you feel yourself getting pulled in as your own like sort of tapestry unravels a bit, and it is the opposite of like a rope burn where it's all these fibers grating against skin. It is a singular thread, so it just cuts straight through skin, and there's blood now sort of going down the line. But you feel the moment that happens and you lurch forward, there are 5 strings that go taut behind you, and you feel a massive pull backwards as you now become effectively like, Captain America holding the helicopter on a thing.
Yes! I
you
love
get,
that. Hell yeah.
And there is a sudden snap that happens. The string that you're holding onto that cuts into your fingers loosens. all of a sudden. And as that does, you feel yourself be pulled and jettisoned back. Aiden, you sort of fall back into your person, followed by, I believe it was,
Alien.
Gillian. And then
Kenji, who got a dirty 20, and Varnex, who also got a dirty 20.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then the last two of you who failed, Yotev and Killian, it takes a while longer for the two of you to hit back. But as you all sort of go one by one, sort of seeing back into your own person, you notice that Cassandra is fully, like, eyes rolled back, stuck in this, like, visionary state. And as she's there, she seems to almost be not able to pull herself back into her body.
Say
What
that
did you
again.
say?
She's not able to pull herself back into her body.
Yes.
She's like effectively been like what is it? It's not Shang-Chi, it's the other one.
Doctor
where they do,
Strange?
like the palm, the like palm
Yeah.
thrust, and she's like, and they're like out of the body, and
The
they go,
ancient
like-
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
metaphysical body is not attached to her body anymore.
I
Like
love
at the
that we're
moment.
doing all the Marvel references.
Yeah.
Today.
It's just, yeah.
It's
I'll
easy.
come up with some.
It's easy to
Yeah.
describe.
It's
You
cool.
bought Gambit cards, and now it's all Marvel themed.
Wow.
That actually was the trigger. It was the switch that just turned on.
Yeah. No, I'm cool.
I'm a name for myself here.
Woo,
Um,
more fun for myself.
Okay, so do we see this?
You all come
We
back
can
in your own.
physically see it.
Yeah, you can physically see that she is sort of. Her hands are out in front, holding these cards. Her eyes are rolled back into the, like, staring at her brainstem, and her entire body has gone stiff, mouth open, just sort of staring forward, unable to move.
Is everybody still glowing like they were?
There's sort of like instead of like a spherical orb around them now, it's like this faint, thin haze over their skin.
And my eyes still glowing?
Yes.
Okay.
Aiden, kiss her really quick, man. Get her back.
Sad. True Love's Kiss. That's where Dad's at.
Marvel is Disney, so that No.
How long goes by before we notice that it's like that she's not coming back?
You're one of the last ones to come back, so you see that you and sort of Killian sort of wake up a moment, but as you look around, everyone else is alert, and it's like 5 seconds, 10
Well,
seconds, 20
Everybody else,
seconds.
almost everybody's done a tarot reading with me anyway.
Hmm.
So I think Yotev, you would recognize that this is weird because I've done a reading on you.
And you've come back pretty quickly. Yeah.
Same with like Killian would as well, and I believe and Aiden would as well. The only one I haven't done one with is Varnex. Sorry, I answered
Nope.
instead of Caleb. I'm so sorry. But I feel like that's a fair answer.
Well, it was good knowing her.
I mean, if she talks like she's here already, what does her face looking like her mouth is open and her eyes rolled into the back of her head really mean? It just looks a little bit odd, but I'm sure that we could probably survive with that.
In fairness, I think Killian has only ever seen this go bad, so
just setting
Like,
expectations.
hard bad too, out of everybody. Like,
yeah. This seems normal. This is how this works.
Jeff is here.
Yeah, and Cassandra's consciousness is not here. It's just like her eyes are rolled back. Yeah. I'm curious. I don't know how these would work, and I kind of want to take a shot on one of these. But like, I know the spells don't work that way, but like in my brain and just the name of the spells feel like they could.
Okay.
My thought is to cast guidance on
Okay.
Cassandra to see if it could kind of form as a beacon to kind of get her back.
I love that. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
And that would be
Um,
using my action and for the all-purpose tool to grab a new cantrip. And
Okay.
basically Deluminator cast guidance onto Cassandra's body.
Okay.
So effectively she just gets an extra D4 mechanically, but
Say.
to one ability check of its choice, so of your choice.
Additionally, Killian, Kenji, you're unconscious.
What?
No. Killian, Kenji, and Aiden. The three of you do, with your passive perceptions, notice that the sparkling that has been sort of... Where would you have placed the sparkling, actually, Kenji?
I thought last person to have it was Killian because he was holding it up. If I would have gotten it back, it probably would have been close to me, like right in front.
I would have handed it back.
Would you have put it on the table while we did the reading for the sense of trying to connect with it?
I wouldn't let it go.
It's too precious to you.
The three of you would notice then, though, with your passive perceptions, that it seems to be faintly glowing.
I have two questions.
Okay.
First question, is that Cassandra's light in it?
Make an insight check.
19 plus, just wait for it, 27.
27. It seems as though the coloration of it inside is both a mixture of what is normally in there from the sparkling, that sort of small storm cloud-esque appearance, as well as the same colored aura that is going off of Cassandra right now.
Also, I'm like a star in a cloud. I love that visual in my head.
Second question.
Uh-huh.
It'll probably lead into a third, but when I looked inside the orb, is that reminiscent of this? Like what had happened to us? Like what was drawing the strings in?
It feels incredibly similar, and with that past insight check, you feel as though had you not successfully pulled away, you would be facing what Cassandra just did alone.
Now, my third question because of that is, does what was bringing this in seem familiar to me?
In what context?
Like in regards to like how I was brought back. Does it seem like it would have been similar to the place that Persize and I would have shared together?
Oh. No.
Okay. Then I very much do not like it.
You're having to make me make some pretty big cosmological, like,
I know.
decisions with these questions.
I know. It's.
I love this.
Are we? I could try and reach out and see if I can pull her back. Kind of like I reached out before to see if the sparkling was there. I don't know if it would work. This is posed to the rest of the group that's there.
I was looking through everything I've got. The only thing I can do is pray. I already
Kenji,
did that.
Best I've got right now, as I'm like concentrating on guidance, just trying to.
Kenji,
throw
as you're
everything into it.
focusing on asking the others their opinion, you watch as blood begins to pour out of Cassandra's nose. What would you
Okay.
like to do?
I'm gonna die.
Seriously,
Back
if I
to the-
just wait 2 more rounds, I just
You're done with her.
I would
No,
just like to be
thank
close
you.
with
Out
her.
of character.
I will sidle slowly close to her in case she in fact does die.
Okay.
And with that,
Open your
I-
mouth, ready to catch a soul should it come flying out.
I mean, I'm pretty quick. I'm pretty dexterous. I can do that.
Sure.
Regardless, you just try to.
It's a
But
hump. He's a
I
frog catcher.
will, in addition to being close to her for that particular reason, that's kept to myself. I
Sure.
will reach out, kind of like I did for the sparkling, and see if I can assist or save her in any particular way.
As you do this, Cassandra, things are strange interplanarly. If you anytime you travel to the Feywild, as you are the most familiar with the Feywild of any other plane of existence, there are reports of people coming back having remembered none of the experience at all. There are people who come back and 50 years have passed. There are people who Narnia that shit, and they go in, they spend 50 years inside of the Feywild, come back, and it's the exact same moment that they left.
That's the best.
Both
version.
time and relative space are strange and fluctuate a lot. This moment as as Kenji attempts to reach in and find is that moment where those strings go taut. As they do, you feel yourself be pulled back, and Cassandra's eyes roll back forward. The blood stops flowing, and you feel like this connection and chain of energy suddenly breaks between all of you.
Breaks as in like we're no longer connected because I'm done doing the tarot reading, or breaks as in like we're no longer connected ever at all, period.
The former.
The first one, like we're no
Yeah.
longer
Yes,
connected.
you're done with the reading.
Not the
okay.
latter.
Okay. I was like, oh no.
What
That has some implications I don't want right now.
But all of you look down and see that there are cards laid out, and all of them have your faces on them. Sort of. They're more like loosely
Interpretation.
Connected.
interpretive. They kind of look like you in a way.
What about the
Even
sparkling?
John
What's it
Lennon.
look like?
But yeah, did
you
we get
hold-
a card for the sparkling?
There's no card for the sparkling.
It is all cards and.
But the sparkling itself, as you hold up the sparkling, it is the same as it was before, but there's just the slightest faint appearance of something on the inside that's stirring, as opposed to entirely empty. There's something inside now. I'll keep over your insight since it was a 27, quite good, and you were just sort of trying to vibe check the orb in general, so it's the same target that you're inciting. It seems like the sparkling has returned, though it is tired, weak, and recuperating.
Good
we
with
asked
that.
him all these questions.
Asking him to kill people across the world, and
I will punch you in the throat.
That's what I was saying was that that's what it's from.
Yeah.
You've tuckered it out.
Plus, whatever happened while you guys were in the trench, we don't know.
We didn't really ask him to do much.
Is he capable of talking to us now, or is he like?
Don't try. Just leave him be.
asleep? Like,
He's napping.
Yeah. Him
Don't wake
need
a
a
sleeping
nap.
baby. Never bring him back to sleep, and he'll never be strong again.
does he reach out to?
How are we
us?
gonna nurture him?
By letting
God,
I
him
got to
sorry.
hold my baby nephew today. All morning. It was with him. Anyway,
How are we gonna get him stronger, Kenji?
gotta let him.
What's he
be.
need
Let him rest.
besides rest?
Lots of rest. You know what you do when you're done resting? More rest.
Well, I usually
think-
kill somebody.
I think for now we let the sparkling come back to us when it's ready.
I was gonna make a joke, but if I made the joke, it was gonna, like, reveal shit you guys don't know yet. So I had to bite my tongue. I'm really sad.
you should put it like in
like
your
jokes.
own DM somewhere to tell us later.
So
No, it's fine.
Can I use one of my key points to feed some of my energy into the orb for it to use?
Hey, if you want to get rid of your abilities, go for it, man.
we got
If I think
a
it'll
long
help.
rest coming up. No big deal. Well, if we make it that far.
What now?
Sorry for not muting.
Do I think it'll help or no?
Fine.
If I do, if I think it'll
Not
help, then I'll do it.
sure. You don't think it would hurt, but it's sort of, you still don't understand what the sparkling is. So it's kind of like if you were to hold on.
Also, not gonna lie, I can do telepathy up to 60 feet. I thought I could only do it 30 feet.
That's wild.
It increases as you level up.
up.
Oh my god. Kilometers. Where is kilometers? Does it actually? Oh my god, that's fucking sweet.
What would a cure wounds do on it? I wonder.
Here I paused this long so I can make a niche reference that I think only Fragan will get. It's sort of like pouring adrenoxyl plutonium sulfate on a grave. You don't know what you're fucking with. It might work, but who the fuck knows?
I will do it then.
Okay.
So good.
I had to look up what it was because I knew it wasn't just plutonium sulfate.
Yeah. The 40 roll too. Thank God she finally got something she wanted. Super casually. Make a DC 40 roll.
Yeah.
I did it. Didn't I?
God.
Do I remember all the things or do I not?
You remember it all.
Oh, you made it back! Yay!
Go on.
I'm just slightly less excited. But like still excited, but like could have had a new friend.
Can I ask what you all saw? And just so I know how much of it is different from what I saw.
Or your blood is
I
pouring
walked
your
in
nose.
late.
We saw the
And,
same thing.
The
I
main
think you should have
difference is that
seen everything up to the wall, is my understanding.
yes, you saw all of like the auras and the strings and that sort of a thing, but the moment that Cassandra sort of dove deeper in and got to the wall, it had stopped. You just sort of at that point were still seeing your own physical. It almost is a mix of the aura around you in a physical space. It's kind of like if you were to have summoned your own miniature dimension, where your dimension just looks like the aura that was there, but it's translucent and overlaid with the current reality. So you basically saw the table with everyone around, but you specifically, Yotev, you also saw a table full of things in front of you, and this sort of almost like a small circular section of that, and sort of translucent beyond that, you could see your neighbors' spaces. So you got to see the fucked up spot that was Killian's Hanged Man card in real life, as well as the fucked up space that was Kenji's death card.
Gotcha.
Is it safe to say that the cards changed because of this reading, and that they didn't look like this before now, and now they're different? Is that a fair assumption?
It is your deck. I am okay with either. The cards have always looked this way, and as a result of this, you've come to realize that the deeper meaning that they had, that they also pertained to people you would meet in your life, or the cards looked more generic, and now because of this, they have altered themselves to fit the people around you.
I vote the second one.
Okay.
I like the first one for the record, but I think I want the second one for this particular thing to be excited about the fact that the cards are different, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna breathe. You know, almost died again. Super casually.
Casually.
For the third time doing a reading for you people. I'm gonna breathe. Look around for make sure that everybody is here and good. Look for Desna. Find where she is. Pet her because oh damn. And then take a second to actually look at the cards and be like, huh, that's different. And just hold them closer, away from everybody at the table, and be like, that's really cool. And be like, well, this makes sense for you. And just kind of talk to myself and process out loud as one does, and just try to come back and be like, that's neat. Look, it's you. Ha. But obviously I'm not fully emotionally back, if that makes sense, right? I am physically back and I'm mentally back, but emotionally I'm what the fuck, I almost died again, and I'm not handling it well, as one does.
Sure.
And just point to all of your cards and be like, look how pretty this card is now. Oh, it's you. Do you see it's you? Ah, this is so cool. And very much not, at all.
I did desperately want to give someone the Fool, but it does not fit any of you. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sad.
Michael and I were talking. We're surprised that Wheel of Fortune was Yotev, because Michael was like, I figured you would be Wheel of Fortune.
I thought I'd be the Fool, honestly.
Figured who would be Wheel of Fortune?
I would be Wheel of Fortune, and I thought that Yotev would be the Magician, because it's creation and manifestation. And he's a tinkerer. It does not matter.
I did Wheel of Fortune, and specifically because the reversed is bad luck, lack of control, setbacks.
And he has a lot of that.
No, 1,000%. I'm not.
Hey, man.
Zero disagreement. I thought all of them fit pretty well.
Yeah.
I would like to explain to everybody what their individual card means for anybody who would want to know. But
does anyone have any morbid thoughts about what the universe has assigned to you as people?
Oh, I mean, it's like my everyday life. I'm kind of fucked, so.
Right. But that's probably what she's gonna do when she comes back. Is breathe, freak out, make sure everybody's accounted for, find Desna. They'd be like, "Oh, look, pretty shiny cards. They're nice." And
Were any of these major arcanas, or?
they're all major.
All
Okay.
All of
Okay.
you are major. Yeah.
I think if anything for Yotev, Cassandra can always point out the fact that Wheel of Fortune reversed, like things can always change. Currently, it is reversed to be bad luck, upheaval, disorder, lack of control, but it can switch back to destiny, good luck, fate, and fortune.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Do we want
That's
to?
Now, you're one unlucky son of a bitch.
Just like me every day, baby. Let's go. Yotev is me.
Do we want to call break a few minutes early since Regan had to step away?
Yeah, since we've got 2 down.
We can't
Well,
call break
this
because
dream can't go on break. So we'll... interesting dilemma.
A bad plan. It's a
Alright.
good plan.
Well,
a bad
important thing is we kind of have Sparkling back, so that's one less thing that we need to worry about.
I would really like to not continue to almost die when, doing readings. This is a not great experience for me in my life.
If I had any control over how that worked out, then I would absolutely make sure that didn't happen. But unfortunately, I don't really have that kind of ability.
Is that not how it normally goes?
No!
Stop
It
delving
seems
into
pretty
heavy shit,
normal.
and I'll stop doing it.
It seems like it happens more often than it doesn't.
Well, it didn't until I met you guys. I was perfectly fine, my little life. Then I go and I try to help a friend learn about a book that he got, and he didn't know how he got, and that tries to kill me. And then I just ramble about all the times I almost died.
Yay! Excellent. So,
No, it's not normal. I'm not okay.
As of now that we have the Sparkling back, it's a very to some degree.
Do we can I tell that it is back and it's just needs a minute? Or
It definitely, especially with Kenji's understanding of the Sparkling, seems as though it has returned, and it is whatever it's been through was a grueling ordeal, and does require some time to recoup before it can be back in its full state.
Because I pulled it with me, would it have changed what it said of I need to find my own way back, or no?
It still would have been its thoughts that it attempted to press towards you,
Right.
but was pulled back either.
Yeah, it said it
But I
retreated
recognize
for
for
now,
sure
right?
That it is back, right? I understand that I brought it back.
That seems to be the understanding, yes.
Okay.
And just from understanding kind of what you had said, it said to Cassandra, this isn't what Yotev, this is me as player trying to clarify. It said it retreated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Away.
It went to that place intentionally and retreated there, and that it wasn't safe for me, that I needed to leave.
I'm curious.
And that it needed to find its way back.
Okay. Is that something that we also would have heard, or is that only to Cassandra?
Just me.
Only to
and
Cassandra.
at this point,
Okay.
she wouldn't have the ability to
Convey that.
convey that because she almost died. So
Okay,
she
cool.
will, but as of right now, in character, none of you would know that had happened because
Cool.
she's not there yet.
Player
I
me
think
now
it's
is
fair.
curious about what it was hiding from, but
Yeah.
we'll get there when we get there.
Should we ask when he's okay too? Because
Yeah.
it could hold us a
Um,
nap.
Okay.
At which point, you have 2 leads. You also have a variable amount of time to handle these leads before an answer is going to be wanted across the street at the trenches. Or at the trench.
Yes.
There is also the opportunity to go around and knock on a door directly if we want to bring the fight to Eketh. So, we have a limited number of weeks to do it. So I'm going to press forward a little bit, even with the 2 people gone. I'm going to try to see if we can get there. So, what is the plan from here?
I think the plan is to head over to Speakeasy and find Tior.
Alright.
That's our most direct line to get over to Zorka.
With you on that.
What was that, Killian?
I think I'm with you on that.
All right. You
Um,
all.
Before we leave, Yotev wants to go to Liz.
Mhm.
Uh,
There's outside mist, all of that, just sort of sitting, and she's writing in what looks to be like a journal, and it's just sort of
yeah.
engrossed in that.
And as I'm gonna kind of do this as we're like leaving, and people are probably like kind of moving up, and I like stay behind for a sec to talk with her. Liz, we're going to try to see Tior. Now, I don't want to necessarily put you into any debt with the Tribanes yourself, if that's something that you would not want to do. Ideally, we get the kids, and you and them go. And whatever happens with the Tribanes would be up to us. So I worry that if you were to come with us to go see them, that you might get roped into having to owe them as well.
Do you think it is best that I stay behind? I'll do that. What is it that you're threatening to do here?
So the idea, this is just a thought, and please feel free to tell me otherwise, is that we seek help from the Treebanes in order to take on, or at least approach, the Ivory Claw / the Mordoons. In the way that hopefully we can get in a way that we can get the kids out, and Varnax can complete his mission. I don't know what they'll ask of us, but my guess would be that we would have to go and find something from the ruins that they like. I wouldn't want to have you also follow along with us if that's so that you didn't owe any more debts. I would like you to try to get as far away from this place as you possibly can, as fast as you can.
If I need to stay here, I'll stay here. Got things that I can work on either way. Just try not to throw yourself into a deeper hole. My understanding here, if you were to throw in all of your, even if you get rid of this Ivory Claw, my understanding of all of this is that your debt doesn't just vanish.
No.
Try not to add more onto that, especially not from a different source. Whatever it is you promise them, make sure it's something you can deliver.
Star Trek, Z.
Absolutely.
You want to come say hi to Ryan?
Okay.
Keep an eye on the trench, and keep yourself guarded.
I can do that.
Thank you.
And she will stay here and get ready to just do work while she's here, but we'll keep an eye on the trench across the street as you guys go.
Perfect.
So we'll go ahead and take a break here then, and we'll be back in a few to pick up directly at the speakeasy.
Yippee!
Do
So, we're cutting over to a speakeasy with which you've gotten the directions to. As you make your way through the city streets, there is um, a small hole in the wall, sort of a spot where you can tell that there's a couple of people outside, specifically stationed, because they're not walking somewhere. They're not um, like necessarily keeping a guard up, but they are sort of interposing themselves in between the normal flow of traffic, just enough to where people have to go around this spot. They can't just drive a horse directly through this path or anything like that. So as you sort of see this, you have a good idea of where this entrance might be, though, and probably the most challenging part of this whole thing is I don't believe you were given a means of um, getting in to this establishment.
No, not as far as I know.
These
Can
are
we cast
places that
Fireball?
normally can. Well, you can't.
Well,
You don't
can we
oh,
find
have
somebody who
Fireball.
can cast Fireball? Yeah. You know what I
Yeah.
mean. Okay, cool. Yotev. You know what to do.
I'm too low level, bro.
I can't work with these people.
So
dude.
is there somebody at the door that like won't let us in?
There are people who are for sure stationed out here. You'd have to talk to and get past them.
Do they look bribable?
Hey, in this city, everybody's bribable.
Money talks. Money is
That's what I thought.
power.
Cassandra, no
I-
offense, but I don't think that you should be doing anything in this city.
Why?
You look like you can't, that you don't turn to the rough side of things. Just an observational thing, not a jab at you. If you're gonna try and offer somebody money, they might not just help you; they might just take it from you. I don't know how you feel about
Well,
that,
I'm-
but
Pretty confident I have the most money to just randomly spend out of us.
I don't think that
Is
we
our-
should be saying that out in public. It also
That's
feels like a
the
bad
least.
thing in a place that has shady in the name. We shouldn't brag about that. I myself am quite poor. Now, I guess in your head, I guess it gets louder when I say poor, as I realize that I'm not actually talking out loud. I mean, yeah, if you want. I'm just saying.
What happens when we try to just walk up to the door and ask to be let in? What's the vibe? We just straight get to
Yeah,
let
we'll just go. We'll start moving up. See what happens.
them? Like what happens? Like what?
Yeah, we don't need to overthink this. We need to move.
Are they expecting us? Because I feel like they should be expecting us.
No, they wouldn't be expecting us. I don't think.
Okay, what happens?
Are you walking up?
Yeah.
Yes.
You head that way. There is a Loxodon and a Goliath that are standing, sort of imposing themselves in this flow of traffic. The Loxodon is a little older. One of the tusks have been sort of snapped off. Long trunk that is currently sort of swaying in front of him, scars across it, and is basically has pulled out a barrel and placed it in the flow of traffic and is sitting there to drive people around and give a wider berth. The Goliath seems to be more posted up as a form of bouncer of sorts. You approach. They sort of look you over. Go. Good evening. How can we be of service today?
I'm gonna just say we're here to see. Out of character, I forget which person we're supposed to be trying to be.
You are.
Sorry. That person. But I don't say that person. To be 4-player.
I'm not sure they're taking visitors today.
Show him the ring.
Is the ring for him though? Isn't the ring for
Working.
Yes, but it at least shows that we have connection here.
Sure. I will pull out the ring and be like, well, this is where we're supposed to be, so I would like to go in now, please, because we're on a tight schedule.
He looks down at the ring, looks up at you. Roll a persuasion check.
We're rid of those. 26.
He looks
Jesus
down at
Christ.
it, looks back up at you, and holds his hand out to see the ring.
I'm not going to give you the ring, because I don't want you to take it. You can look at it with your eyes, but not your hands.
Sounds like you don't want to go in then. Move along.
It'd be a real shame to find out that if Zorka were to find out that we weren't allowed in.
He looks like extremely far down at you, Yotev. Just says, these sorts of things happen all the time. Sure, if you know Zorka, I'm sort of nods to her, as you're claiming that you do, that you would know that she would rather us turn away someone who is meant to be here than let someone who is not meant to be here inside.
It was Darko that gave us the ring, right? Or gave
Arenas.
Arenas. I always forget.
I'm going to say, listen, I don't know you, you don't know me. That's totally fine. We were sitting here at Arenas. We're on a tight schedule. If you do not return this ring to me, I'll just, she probably wouldn't threaten him with death. Harm you in a way you've never been before.
What do you look
He
like?
holds out his hand again.
What do you look like right now?
I'm just a human. I do not look like me.
I'm just a girl.
He holds out his hand again.
I'll give it to him, and if he doesn't give it back, I'm gonna mind sliver his ass.
He rolls the ring around his
Oh,
finger, and you watch as he has the ring palmed in his hand like this. He goes to his waist and slices his thumb on a dagger there, and presses his thumb into the top of the ring. And as he pulls it away, you watch as the blood is absorbed into the ring.
Gross.
Just sort of watches as it happens. Looks over to the locks it on, looks back to the ring, tosses it to you.
I'm gonna be like, that was disgusting. And I'm just gonna daintily hand it back to Aiden. Like, this is gross.
He
Very dramatically.
he opens the door, and as he steps aside to let you walk past, he just looks down at you and says, I would be more willing to cooperate in the future. Otherwise, I look forward to getting the word from Tior that I get to harm you in a way that you've never.
Can
When
I?
he says When he threatens to harm her, I will step up to him into his face and just stare him down.
Now you seem fun.
And me being shorter than Killian in this form, I'll just be like, I'm not worried because I've got Killian and
I'll just put my hand on Killian's shoulder and just like,
like I've got like a whole bunch of very
Yeah.
big beefy guys, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever, man. Like, you're just the door guy. Not worried about you.
Killian, as you sort of step up into his face, he just smiles at you and tells you, now you keep yourself nice and pretty like that. I want to be the one to mess that face up. Nods his head towards the door and says, go on, get.
When we walk by, I'll just keep staring at him as everybody passes by. And
Mhm.
when I'm the last one to enter, I'll turn and look at him. I normally
wink
wouldn't
and
waste
kissy
my
face.
time on someone like you.
It's all right.
I know subtle spell, right? Isn't that one of the things I
He just waits for you to move past, and at the moment that you go to, he just winks at you and lets you go past. All right. Fuck it.
Oh, they're flirting.
Yeah.
Cute.
Vibes here are immaculate.
Can
Sure.
I
Romance him. Romance him.
because he's made me angry.
Mhm.
I'd like to roll to charm him.
Can I use one of my subtle spell thingies to cast minor?
we're in.
No, I know we're in. He's not gonna know it was me.
This is
Oh,
spite now.
jeez.
What do you? What do
She's
you
gonna
do?
subtle spell mind sliver him.
I'm not gonna mind sliver him. Just a minor illusion, like a spider like crawling on him or something creepy that he would not enjoy. Not a spider, because spiders freak me out. I said spider by default because it would be scary to me. Like something not fun crawling on him as a minor illusion that just like falls off the ceiling, crawls down and like goes down his person and like scuttles around the floor.
Like a beholder.
He eats it.
Like a beholder, no. But subtle spell, minor illusion. Not anything major, not harmful, just,
Doesn't minor illusion not have like feeling though?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a visual thing.
When was the last time you actually felt like a bug on you
Listen,
and gotten a bug bite?
I didn't
Yesterday.
want
You
to
only
harm him.
feel
I
it when
didn't
you
want
see
to
it.
harm him. I just wanted to freak him out. I don't have to.
You know
If
what?
It doesn't
Just-
work that
just-
way, Caleb.
Just recall previous campaign running past somebody thinking that, oh, this will be fine, and then misty stepping your way so far down the hallway that we got kicked out. That's all I'm saying.
Have to if it doesn't.
It has
Yeah.
these vibes. I'm feeling it.
It's fine. It's fine.
We'll go and get her.
Y'all-
officer.
Y'all make your way inside. You hear a loud slapping sound and then like a confused murmur as you enter in. The doors close behind you, enter in. It is basically like a narrow hall that goes for like 5 or like 15-ish feet and then immediately turns into stairs that go directly down. Descend down the stairs, and there's a door there that is effectively like a outside entrance to the basement of a different place, but that's been completely turned into a bar. As you open it up and enter inside, it's relatively light as far as patrons go at the moment. It is early in the day. You see there's a couple of folks around that are most likely here for like quieter rendezvous. Some people who are in the process of closing a deal or setting up an agreement. The interior at the moment, there is no sign of a Leonin. But you can see that behind the bar is a pair of bartenders who are actively doing some prep work for later in the evening.
Yotev will walk up to the bar. He'll order a glass of water. And say, and to whichever bartender decides they're going to tend to him, he'll say, you know, my friends and I are looking for Tior. Do you know if he'll be visiting sometime this evening?
You go and sit down, and one of the bartenders is a half elf drow. Sort of watches you sit down. You order water, and they will grab a glass and just begin to fill water. Place it down in front of you. Just as far as I know, Tior doesn't normally show until later, but can be summoned if it's urgent. Why? Something important going on?
Well, we have something that we need to deliver to Sizorka. And we just wanted to know when he would show up. If he would be visiting tonight.
This emergency meeting with Zorka? What is this? Something that she needs to be involved in?
Probably.
Hopefully. We were told to reach out to her if we ever needed help with anything, or at least to get in contact with her.
By whom?
What's her name?
You literally just
Arena.
said
I know. That's how bad my short term is. And I didn't write it down because I'm a fool.
like 30 seconds ago up the stairs.
Yes. Emma something.
Arenas.
Arenas, yeah. Arenas.
You see that the one bartender looks down the bar at a very similar looking bartender, also a half elf drow, looks so like looking between the
I
two
am
of them.
also bartender Pumat Soul.
They look the exact same, except one is wearing they're wearing just like a slightly different outfit. And the one on the other end of the bar sort of looks at the lot of you and then slips into the back. And the one here says, "We'll make a call. If you've got any other business to do here, I'd suggest you get that wrapped up quickly." Looks back at some of the like bigger folks and goes, "Do your friends fight?"
When necessary.
Why would we need to fight?
It's nothing about need. But if you need some coin, then friends fight, and you've got means of making some.
Interesting. How much?
Depends on the person, depends on the ante. And how confident or arrogant you are.
Yotep kind of like chuckles a little bit while like side-eyeing Varnax.
What kind of fights? We talking fisticuffs to the death, sword, steel? What are we doing?
It is normally sword and steel. Magic is either allowed or banned on a per basis agreement between fighters and their representatives. And as far as death goes, it's not recommended. We prefer to have our losers in good enough shape to come back for rounds 2 through however many they wish to have. But if a death occurs, then things can get arranged to remove the unsightliness.
Okay.
Varnex, I think I can do
Yes.
it.
I
Question:
think I will do it.
I think I
Does
can do
that does that guy in the front ever fight?
Which one?
I don't remember what he looks like. The guy in front.
The door guy?
Yeah, the Goliath.
Door guy.
Was it the Loxagon or the or the
Goliath.
Goliath? Okay.
it. He's
Goliath.
living rent free.
The bartender sort of not normally. Staff is not typically supposed to participate in fights. Try to keep the people who are stationed at work in working condition. But if you and him to come to some agreement, the price is good enough, I'm sure he'll help beat the shit out of one another if you'd like.
Do members of the family, people who are important, pay witness to these fights?
They can.
Yotev's gonna kind of look to the group. Be like, this could be an opportunity for us to at least gain a presence, some notoriety with the family. We could seem as useful to them as they could be to us.
Well, if the rules are as they said, I can't fight either of those conditions. Do you see me? I'm just
They said
gonna-
Well,
magic was usable as in the means.
At this point, that a side door opens and Leonin sort of steps in, wearing very bright, shiny, well polished, though scuffed up and clearly seen some battle suit of armor. It is a mixture of well maintained and well worn. As they step through, they have a maul on the back of their back, and stepping through, sort of look around, spot your group, and begin to stride over, and sort of stopping in front of all of you, go, "What is this urgent business I've been called up for?"
This is Tor.
Yeah, it's Tior. He's the only Leonin really in the area.
I'm just gonna perkishly, like very happily wave, be like, "Hello."
Oh,
I am. The name I have set this weekend is Ayla. Yeah. Yes. But we're trying to get to what's her name, Michael?
Zorka.
Orca. Thank you. Sorry, I'm really bad with names normally, Caleb.
And on what business are you attempting to reach Zorka?
Say here.
Arenas
Gonna have
said
to
that
start telling people some point.
Arenas said that if we would like to make a connection with the family, that we were to return, gesturing to Aiden, this ring to Zorka. We do have a favor that we would like to discuss.
He nods to you, Aiden, and says, which ring would this be?
Pull the ring out.
Hmm.
And
Silver.
give it to him since he needed to before.
He holds it up and goes, "Silver. High-ranking one. Got the big favor that you're going to be asking?"
Yes. Unfortunately. Would it be
Looks
possible to
down.
have a more private conversation? Not somewhere so open?
Looks around and says, "Sure, this way to my room." Steps back through that door, and as you walk in, it immediately opens up to a sort of walkway that goes around in a giant circle, in the middle of which is a deep pit. Goes down at least 120 feet, and down in the middle there are splashes of blood, long dried, broken halves of weapons, things that have just sort of been lost and discarded, rocks and stones that jeer up at different angles. And as he slowly walks around, you see that there's like a singular turtle with a push broom, slowly pushing like some of this stuff aside, getting rid
Aw.
of the viscera and debris.
The janitor, yay!
Yeah. And
God,
yeah, Tior just keeps walking around the circle, and by the time you get to about 3/4 of the way around, 3/4 of the way to the other side, he stops and pushes against a door and just sort of bows down and enter, and leaves it open for you to follow.
Follow suit.
You walk in. That room is highly decorated in particularly like trophy-esque objects. You see that there are it's like an owl bear rug on the ground. There's the head of an Ankeg on one end. You see that there's a what looks to be severed hand of some clawed creature that has been mounted, and sort of a glass case has been put over, like one of those round, almost like Beauty and the Beast glass case over top. You see a on the other side of the Ankeg mounted is the head of a bullet, which has like a bunch of extra like things put into the wall because it's so heavy, just to keep it from crashing down. And then you see an entire like some stitches can be seen, but it looks like a basically like a wyvern that has been stuffed and is full, like in display on the other side, like wings up, tail poised to strike on the far wall. There's just like a small gallery of the things that he's killed. A
Smarnex is
small,
going to be very, very pissed about the wyvern.
a small like sitting area that he walks directly past and sort of gestures for you to go and sit if you'd like. You see, he still has the ring, and he places it down on a small serving table with like glasses and decanters, and begins to pour out a beverage for himself. Looks over and sort of says, "Before we get to business, would anyone like something to drink?"
No more. No, I'm sober now.
Wow, sorry to hear that. Looks to the rest.
I'm good.
Sort of shakes his head, but will only pour his own, put the stopper back on the decanter, take a sip, and go and sort of pick up the ring and sit back down in this group, waiting for you all. Says, "Meeting with Zorka? You've got a silver ring. You've got a pretty big favor you can. I'm curious what this favor might be."
We have run into some issues. I have run into some issues with the Ivory Claw. I'm going to cut straight to the point. My kids. They're young adults, but they're still my children. They're in danger right now. And I'm hoping to get them back. But just the... Kenji, have you been walking this whole time, or are you like equipped? The group of us. Yeah, the group of us. I don't believe that we could take on the Ivory Claw alone. especially if they're being backed by the Mordoons. And we are hoping to get some assistance. Trying to appeal to someone in the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Well, if you're wanting to take down Ivory Claw, I don't think that that's necessarily going to be harshly opposed. You're going to need higher than silver. Tosses it back to you.
What can we do that could put us higher than silver?
That, unfortunately, I won't be able to answer for you. It seems like you've already asked around in an attempt to get to Zorka. Well, she would be able. Lord Trebane has been doing a lot of good work around the city, but he's slowly passing those roles off to Zorka. Sure, that with the additional control she's been given, she'd be able to find something for you to do for her, bump you up to a gold, or depending on how resourceful you prove to be, maybe even a platinum. I'll start with this. Anything that has to do with another house is going to need to at least be a gold. You're asking for effectively a small declaration of war here, going after one of their assorted gangs.
What if it wasn't a declaration of war? And it was just the leader, and we had other means of getting the children back. With a catch that we want the catch taken out of. And I'll detail out the whole plan with the dwarf. Not mention my patron or that part of it.
Sure.
Just I have a bone to pick with Eketh and go that route and see what he thinks of that. How they would, willing to assist the Ivory Claw. Maybe they could hire the Machan, although they work for the other house, right?
Yeah. So he's sort of listens to this pitch and asks, so in that case, you're asking for the Trebanes and the use of your ring. He sort of gestures to the one that the ring he threw back at you. Says, to do what exactly? Replace financial weight that Yotev would have weighed on it?
I don't think it'd take all of it. Some, maybe.
But enough
Not
to get
a
them
great-
the blood.
Correct.
Xanacus. You'd be cutting to an interesting chase here, but I'm sure if we found something that's been laundered well enough, it wouldn't trace back to us. I can't agree to these terms, but I do think that your silver might just be enough to buy something like that. Though, we'll have to see.
Well, that's if these all our group decide that that's what we need to do.
Kind of looks around at the rest of you to see if any of you object.
If silver's not enough for us to be able to get direct aid. We'll do what we need to.
Nods. Yes. All right then. Not sure how you're going to what exactly we can offer, but sort of looks back over his shoulder and stares into the eyes of the bullet on the wall. Says, what do you think of the terms of that deal? That the wall behind the bullet open. A lithe figure comes in. The door itself closing back behind as she steps through. She is not exactly a well dressed individual. A lot of the stuff that she wears is nice enough, but is very much leaning more towards the practicality of it. Nice like suits and dresses and attire, they're too restrictive, and so definitely seems to have gone for function over form. But as she sort of steps through, she is a stout, dwarvish-looking woman. She goes over and she stands behind Tior and just says, "This is an interesting proposition that you've given. I'm not opposed to the idea, though I do think that there's going to be perhaps a bit of a catch that I'd like to throw into the mix. I like the idea of being able to get rid of Eketh. He's been a thorn in our side for quite some time, but just handing over the entirety of the Ivory Claw to the Mysticani, that's just sort of trading one bad for another. We'd love to get rid of Eketh as well, I assure you, but perhaps there's something else that could be done. Something to weaken the claw a little bit, so that even with the strength of Eketh gone, we're not just transferring power from one hand to another." Sort of looks down at the ring and back up at you, Yotav, and says, "I understand that the ties that bind are quite strong, and that your children are of great importance. However, I would not ask that you don't strive to save them. I'm not cold and callous. However, I am curious what exactly it is that they think that they're getting from you in particular. What skill or import is it that you possess that makes them believe you're worth holding on to after all of this? Worth, what was it, 125,000 gold?
That's just a small amount, super casually. I say the most sarcastically.
Interest.
A lot of it, yes, is interest. I'm an inventor. I hail from Hupperdook, and I owned a shop. Things got difficult, and I couldn't repay the loans. Eventually, they got bought out by the Mordoons, and I haven't been able to pay them back. I guess what they're wanting is someone who owes them to be able to work for them.
And as an inventor, your worth is your mind.
Yes.
So think with me here. What could you give them that would help to weaken the ivory claw?
Just so I understand the question, because it's to weaken the ivory claw. You said, "What can I?" Who is them?
The ivory claw itself.
Okay.
See, if they're looking for something from you for money, let's say that you give them, I don't want to be crass here, but you're the intelligent.
Sure.
Something that were to detonate in 24 hours well after you've gone on your way outside of the city? Or something that would cause more harm than good? A potion or tonic that would promise to strengthen the swings and blows of their soldiers, but when imbibed would actually cause them harm or hindrance? I'm simply asking that should you decide that this is the plan of action you want to go with, sweeten the deal with them with more than just something from our coffers. Let's come up with something that can help weaken their ranks.
I see.
Would make it more worthwhile for us in the end, if it wasn't just transferring all of the strength of the ivory claw over to the hands of the Miskani.
So you want to not eliminate them.
Cripple.
What if
cripple.
what if you could get the Misakani?
Oh,
He's very greedy.
I'm sure he is. What did you have in mind?
Well, if they came to work for you, then you would have the ivory claw, because he wants the ivory claw gone. But he doesn't really want them gone.
He wants to
them
run them.
because they're cutting into his profits. He doesn't really care about the ivory claw, honestly. He cares about money. And I don't know what his loyalties are like. They're not like mine, obviously.
Imagine that his loyalties lie with his coin purse. I am concerned. The fact that it is a nice idea that he would wish potentially turncoat. Though, from my understanding of this situation, it seems as though the Ivory Claw, he wishes to be out of the way because they cut into their finances as the Mordoon coffers are split between both gang, as it were. If we were to bring him under our employ, then it would be our coffers being split between the people we employ and him.
I see.
So it wouldn't bring him much more. He would prefer to stay the Mordoons.
Yes, he's wishing to get rid of competition in his own pool, not jump to a brand new pond entirely.
Correct. It was just a thought.
I understand.
But it could also lead to another war if he left and came to work for you immediately.
It would also implicate us, yes. That is an unfortunate side effect of many of these dealings.
Well, either way, Eka is gonna die.
Great news for me. Listen, Yotev, for the ring, I am willing to give you something from our coffer. something to sweeten the deal. It can be straight monetary value, or it can be an artifact of some kind, should you deem that applicable. However, I'm not sure how much they're looking. And if the more you're willing to do to hurt the Ivory Claw in the process, the more I'm willing to put it forth as part of this gang-based dowry of sorts.
I would destroy the Ivory Claw from the inside if I knew I could. But I don't believe we can do it alone. Which is why I come to you.
So
Oh,
this
I'm
is
with him, by
interesting.
the way. I'd kill every one of them because I don't care. Eketh first.
So are we shifting off of this deal with the Mysticani and focusing solely on murder? Because again, we are open to such ideas. The problem then circles back to that silver ring is not enough for us to start an all-out war.
I understand. That's why I was trying to go the other subterfuge route.
And I
just
think it's a
can't give up
clever idea.
Yotev, and I'm not going to sell him out. Again, I do have honor. I might be a bastard, but I got honor.
You asked me what I would sacrifice or what I would be willing to do. And that I would go to the extremes. If it is only dismantling it or crippling it is what you want, consider that done. Whether it be manpower, whether it be tools, money. I would do whatever it takes to get my children back.
So my understanding then is we give you something from our coffin to do this deal with the Mysticani, and then you're agreeing to stab the Mysticani in the back and cripple the Ivory Claw, which they would now take over. Your kids would be safe before.
You told us, Varnax, what the Mysticani look like, right? Like who they.
Mhm. So, okay, hang on. I gotta above board this. So the original deal was they would front us money.
Mhm.
But now they want to harm the Ivory Claw, but still give us the money and do the deal with the Mysticani.
So
I'm just trying to think my way through it. Hang on.
yeah.
So that changed, right? That's different than okay, because they're willing to do an all-out war if we wanted to go that route too.
If we had a higher ring.
Right.
But
Okay.
in getting a higher ring would mean
Yeah.
you have to prove to them that we are worth that.
You have to do something. Rings are indicative of favors. So by getting the silver ring from Arenas, you effectively were gifted a favor from the Trebane family.
Yes.
At this
But
silver-
only a
yeah, I
silver rank.
Yeah. So for a silver, they're willing to give you the something to basically be like, we're not going to give you Yotev. Here is this, and you can do your deal if you cripple the Ivory Claw as well somehow.
So they're doing more than what the silver.
Yeah. But
They're cutting
I'm
us a
thinking,
deal.
so just killing Eketh isn't crippling enough.
No,
like
because then it
they
would
need
transfer them the
numbers.
power.
End.
Yes.
Yes.
How you do it, they kind of don't care so long as it doesn't implicate them.
But if we had a gold rank, they would be willing to go into an all-out turf war.
If you had a gold rank, they'd probably be willing to
rank.
give you this. I think platinum would be an all-out war. If it's a gold, they would be willing to do this deal of, we'll give you whatever you want for this coffer thing. You don't have to do anything. Thinning out that gold ring is enough of a favor.
I guess my question then to you is, how would we be able to acquire a gold or platinum ring from you?
Start with a gold.
Of course.
Move our way up to platinum. For a gold ring, we have a shipment of goods that we've lost as they were making their way out of Malayasmere. And we would desperately love to have that back, though there are concerns about increased dangers within the Savalier Wood.
Sure.
Now, I'm not opposed to send lower-ranked individuals over and over and over again until it gets done, but there are murmurings of dissatisfaction amongst the people who are in that lottery to see who gets sent. So, if we can solve it easily by sending a group of strapping young adventurers, then it's done. Although, there is a catch to that, as I'm sure you're expecting.
Of course.
That shipment is quite deep in the city of Malayasmere. It was a cache that was stolen from the vaults of the old castle itself. Last we got from the Sending Stone was word that they had infiltrated the vault, and that they would return in the morning. They begin their return trek in the morning. No matter how many times I attempted to send to them again, they never responded. You'll have to trek into the castle itself, search for, find the cache, and return it to me.
And how far away is this?
Oh, by foot, 3 days travel, more or less. Depends on how fast you are.
So 3 days there, however long it takes us to do the job, 3 days back.
It's back.
That's another week and a
how
half
about on
that your
horseback?
kids are. Well, yeah, but that's another week and a half or so that your kids are held captive, where we could take care of it right now.
Right.
I have zero issues betraying and hurting the Ivory Claw after we get your kids, and Ekith is dead.
Oh, I have no issues hurting the Ivory Claw either.
They've been a pain in my ass since I've met you.
And they've been a pain in my ass since long before I met you.
As a quick, like, above the board, just to make sure we're clear,
Sure.
because I know there was a bit of a question for it, and I want to... So, silver means effectively what you'd have to do is you'd have to backstab the Ivory Claw,
Yes.
and that would piss off both the Ivory Claw and the Mysticani, because you're cutting Mysticani out of getting the Ivory Claw. The Ivory Claw just got attacked, right? So you're basically pissing off two gangs for them. A gold is the deal as it stands with the Mysticani, and for a platinum, they will just flat out do the goddamn thing and say, all right, we'll send our people to war with you. We'll kill them both.
Right.
Just as like an understanding of what you're trading.
That's what I figured. Yeah, that's what I guessed.
As far as the gold is concerned, that's their deal for you.
Yes.
The silver, or the platinum, there are growing tensions between people of Shady Creek and the Dwendalian Empire. Certain folks have been poking their nose around and trying to take things from our family that doesn't quite belong to them. They're trying to beat us to Malaismere to compete for these relics. In particular, a group of members of the Cerberus Assembly have found that they are particularly interested in these relics. If these members were to suddenly disappear, that would lighten our load tremendously. Make it so that we have less competition to get to our relics in the first place. If this is something that you're interested in, then it just means you'll have to hunt down and murder some little
I'm okay with that M word, but this one over here, I'll point at Cassandra, doesn't like the murder word. So if we could just say, euthanize or
Unalived.
Yes.
I'm just gonna roll my eyes.
Perform forced euthanasia on a couple of mages. Then
To be clear, I don't like murdering people. He likes just going around and killing whoever the fuck walks funny in
that's why it's called murder.
his way. Okay, like I'm orcs, unlike some people.
she sort of narrows her eyes a bit and says, "Yes, does seem like you're more my speed of individual then. What was your name?"
Ayla.
Oh, no, apologies. I mean your Dragonborn friend.
Varnex.
Pleasure. I prefer people who don't mind getting their hands dirty. Better for business, after all.
Love it.
So, I'm sure you and your morals make plenty of gold as it is, so maybe you and your coffers can help save your friend.
I mean, I do. Be pretty fine.
I'm just okay, so
125,000 fine.
above board.
Above board, yeah. Cassandra is like afraid of the Cerberus Assembly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I don't remember. I'm getting
Or
this
some of our
campaign and the
connections.
last campaign mixed up of where we're at as far as Dwendali, Cerberus. Whose
No.
side are
The
we on?
Cerberus Assembly, is it?
He's part
Huh?
of the Cerberus Assembly.
Is it? You're right.
Also,
Okay. Cool.
I
So we don't have like an allegiance with the Assembly
Or
currently.
the
No,
Dwendalian Empire either, right?
No, not really.
Okay.
But also, Yotev, you would remember that the division that your son was working with was the Cerberus Assembly Arcane Research Division.
right. That's what I thought.
I got beef.
We've already
beef.
fucked them up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got beef.
Man's willing to
So
fight a king.
there are ties here for sure that you would potentially be kicking a hornet's nest potentially before your due.
How many individuals here in town would need to meet an untimely demise?
Yes, the unfortunate thing is they aren't necessarily in town. Mages, being the obnoxious shits that they are, don't necessarily need to begin and end their day in the same place.
Fuck.
you'd have to be going, well, likely all the way to Rexentrum to find out who it is that's doing the snooping, and then go from there.
And how far is that? How far is that above board?
Much.
Sorry.
Much further than the Savali.
It's like the
Now,
other side of the
I
country.
will say, I'm not an unreasonable person. I wouldn't expect you to put everything aside to wait and force your children to stay in this terrible circumstance for a week or more just to earn yourself the favor. After all, it's a favor at the end of the day. If you want, I can always just give it to you on loan. He sort of looks over at you, Yota. Assuming that you're good to pay it back. That is.
So, like, who would you rather owe? I guess. Would you rather be indebted to?
This is tricky.
Because essentially that's what's happening, right? Like, do you want to
Yeah, that's essentially what
get
it
your
is.
kids back and still have a debt, but to different people?
Well, even then, the debt with the
But the debt is
Mardunes doesn't
murking people.
disappear.
Yeah.
The thing with this would be, yes, you're good as far as the debt is if you do this and choose one of the other options, you have to then follow up with Malaismir or with Rexentrum, or else there's a second house in Shady Creek who's gunning for you.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be trying to piss off two members
Yeah,
of the
you're not
mafia.
doing too good on paying back debts.
One I feel like is substantially easier than the other. And unfortunately, weirdly enough, it feels like murking people is a lot easier to pay back than 125,000 gold. I know it's not.
But that's if we can find them and kill the right ones, which
Yeah, and make
go
sure
to
that we
war with the
provide
service
evidence.
Yes. I misunderstood then. I thought you were saying between the two, the easier one would be the Cerberus Assembly versus Malaismir.
No. Between owing money from the Mordunes and owing a favor from the Trebanes, owing the favor from the Trebanes feels a lot easier than trying to pay back the Mordunes, especially with the level of urgency we're at currently.
Agreed.
Yotev, at the end of the day, it's your deal. I brokered a deal. There's a contract. We've got the backing. I have the other thing squared away. You tell me which way you want to go.
Yeah, that's where I'm having a hard time figuring that out. Above board and in game.
Well, I mean, above board, what are people's opinion?
Okay, so above board, my opinion is pissing off the service assembly. I mean, at the end of the day, getting Yotev's kids back and not losing Yotev is the way to go.
I also agree with that.
Now, does that mean starting a war? Really, to me, it doesn't matter what happens in Shady Creek. If this house comes out on top, we're good.
Yeah.
Right? If we do it my way of sneaky and just kill the guy and they get then this house is still going to be, they're not going to be pissed at us, but
here's my
get any
current
aid from them
dilemma
in the future.
Yeah, here's my current dilemma with opposing, like currently not wanting to necessarily go after the Cerberus Assembly right now, because I think that's like where I'm at, like, and Yotev I think is at. But the thing that he's conflicted with right now is two things. He doesn't want to get all of you stuck with having to deal with his own debt by hunting down the Cerberus Assembly, even
That's
though
too late.
yeah, well, specifically with that. And then the other thing is that if Vincent is still planning on working with the Cerberus Assembly after getting out of Shady Creek Run, he doesn't want to have to necessarily be put in a situation where he's going to be put against him.
Maybe could work for this house.
I don't like that. Even remotely.
I'm just saying.
No, I know.
What could go
No, I
wrong?
know. Everything.
Or-
Everything.
So
Well, what is it good
What's
for?
what's everybody else's opinions?
yeah,
Sorry.
Are we planning? Is everybody thinking silver, gold, or platinum?
I mean,
So in character, Cass would not want to go around having the solution be murder.
I
Sure.
know. That's what I was saying. That's why I said what I said.
So
But you got beef with the
Fucking
Cerberus Assembly.
for sure, and she would point that out, but like she still wouldn't think that the solution is murder.
I
always
will also add, just in case this is not clear, platinum is platinum for a reason, and gold is gold for a reason. Like,
yeah, yeah.
Cerberus Assembly is a big ass deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Cool.
But see, okay, above board for me, that
Uh-huh.
sounds way more fun long term.
Sure.
Agreed.
I mean, seriously.
Things
Story wise, that sounds way more
Yeah.
fun.
The
Things
stakes
are
are so much
supposed to
higher.
I agree with that of an out of character. I think that sounds like the more fun route for us to go as
And-
well.
And in the short term, an all out war because we are gonna go do this thing is awesome as well too.
Yeah, I think out of character for sure. I think that's the more fun route as well. So like I would be okay with that out of character, but in character, Cass would be
You can bitch and
Not
moan
about
about it, and we'll just make fun of you.
yeah, it's whatever. She'd
Aiden, what do you
probably
think?
be more on board with it if it's the Cerberus Assembly because that's who's targeting her.
Yeah, because she wants to get rid of them probably, or at least have them stop hunting her as well.
Correct. Yeah.
And if we dismantle the Cerberus Assembly, then like she's not targeted anymore.
right, so like she'd probably be the most on board with that out of the three options anyway. Still not happy about it, but like the most like
Yeah.
alright, fine. Hubby,
So in character, I don't think I have any preference. 'cause
Right.
Sure.
I don't know, like, the politics of this continent. Out of
Sure.
character, I think the Cerberus Assembly is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
could also lead to some really cool things. But I also think Malayasmir is really cool.
Yeah, I
So-
also wouldn't mind doing Malayasmir either.
Well,
Is it-
maybe.
I just- I-
possibly both?
What if we start working for this family?
Oh my god. And then
Hey,
be our little
I mean-
patron.
I
thing
have
or whatever?
Yotev has a question for this is Zorka, right, in front of us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Does Malayasmir need to happen immediately? Or can that be taken on after we handle the Ivory Claw?
Both can. You'll just owe us till it's done.
Can we do both?
Above board, I'm more down for Malayasmir. Because that was the thing that was holding me back from doing Malayasmir was like the time. I didn't want to
yeah,
go
no.
6 days out.
Both of these. So to be clear, Rexentrum would take way longer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But she did also mention that you are more than welcome to get this plan done so that you can save your kids tomorrow. But
We
we're
just owe
going
them.
to, yes, but you're gonna owe them until it's done, which is the whole reason why I had Lisbeth tell you don't promise anything you can't deliver, because I knew I was gonna do this shit to you later.
Sure.
I love you so much, Caleb. Okay.
Yeah, but see, this is something that I don't think the Malayas mirror
Mhm.
we can deliver as well as we can the other, because our party makeup, we can't break it. We are not burglars. We don't have thieves. We're not stealthy.
Oh no,
Speak
we're
for
going in and
yourself.
murking people and getting our shipment back.
There's more than one way to steal things.
Yeah,
I know.
We're,
but
we
I'm
can
just saying,
brute force it. That's what I'm
Yeah, but see,
thinking.
there's people who don't like the brute force aspect of it.
Oh, it doesn't matter. She'll go
You-
with whatever the whole group does. It's fine.
Throwing in something else. Malay's Mirror does not have people to piss off.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a city, but that city fell.
It's an
so,
old
like,
city.
It's a
So just
ruin,
like a group
basically.
of like bandits of some level that or
Okay.
something who have
Yeah,
taken
alright.
it.
I was thinking that it's like in a actual
It is the
city
most
with
Right.
neutral
No.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the options for sure.
The most,
Like-
if I had to, and this is low key giving him ideas, and I feel bad doing this. The city that's above this that forest is the only possible rival currently to get stuff that they're trying to get stuff down. I know I've just plotted him into stuff, but like logically speaking, like there's like one big city that's up north of Shady Creek.
Mhm.
And I forget the name of it, but it's the one that's up. But Uthadern. Uthadern's the only one that could potentially be like we've hired contractors out there, and now we have beef with people in Uthadern.
Which, like, long term, what the fuck ever.
Yeah,
But see,
I'm more willing to go to Malaya's Mirror than I am necessarily to start the service assembly now.
but I'm saying, why not do
I'll go
both?
to Malaya's Mirror. Maybe we can
Why not
put
do
up
both?
some
You said-
service
yeah.
assembly.
If y'all want to say let's do silver, and then or
And
let's
then
do
gold.
gold rather.
Oh,
Let's do
gold.
gold rather,
And then
in
we'll
that favor.
discuss.
and then afterwards be like, hey, we're going for that platinum thing, and you owe us. Then you can go. You can get the platinum and say.
And then
either
they
we
owe
want
us a favor.
They owe you a favor for future, or you can basically just say, hey, pay off the debts now. Debts are done. Yotev's free.
How do
We
you? I-
want 150,000 platinum, and then all of Yotev's stuff is paid off, and you get 25,000 platinum to split amongst all of you.
That's so much, too.
Let's go murder.
We add
Blizzard.
1,000
Or
platinum
gold,
to that
not platinum.
for the.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It'd
go-
be 10,000
yeah.
or
Let's
12,000
retcon that a little bit, you know.
Yeah, go.
We
Alright.
add an
That's
extra
like-
1,000, so it's even amongst all of us.
So all in favor of going gold first to going to Malaya's Mirror and then maybe going back to Cerberus Assembly. Say aye.
Oh yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with both.
Caleb.
Yeah. Look at Caleb.
Just in case.
So
Like,
what-
Caleb's down for all of it.
Idea to me.
Question-
Yeah.
What did we say?
Question before the vote. So, for the
Vote
sake
for
of
it.
out of character with us planning around Ryan being gone, does us
Yes.
going to Malaysia that finishes Ryan? We can
Malaysia.
do dad's stuff.
Malaysia.
Whatever
Uh,
the-
Malaya's mirror.
So the way this will work is I'm fully planning. There's an opportunity for Yotev to effectively be like, hey, I'm making sure Lisbeth and the kids make it to
right.
Shady Creek or to Humperdinck.
Wherever it is they're gonna go. Yeah.
So dipping out, doing that while you guys finish this to get rid of that debt or whatever.
Okay, so. Oh, I see. So, like, he doesn't have to go with us up there.
Yes. So that when
Got
that
it.
that work gets done, Yotev can have returned to Shady Creek in time to meet up with you guys.
And then we can still wrap up dad's stuff and everything that's here with the White Claw.
Yes,
Exactly.
before
Yeah.
before you even
Before.
leave for
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna be
Yeah,
before
yeah,
you
yeah.
leave
He's
for it.
dead
Yeah.
next session.
That's fine. Okay, I just
If
wanted to
not
make
this
sure
one.
that like that was okay for the sake of us planning. Sorry.
And side note,
Yeah.
Caleb, I'm also okay with them like someone puppeting Yotev in Malaya's Mirror. If yeah.
Not.
If yeah.
Then I'm fine
That
with
sounds
that.
like killing or
I
yeah,
like
that
the
sounds like
idea
killing
of
you.
doing the gold thing first and then the
going back and get it,
going
because then
back
they owe
and
us a
buying.
favor. Yeah.
But
I like
also,
I like them owing us a favor.
Yeah.
So,
I like that, but I also like that it pushes us towards.
what was their
next
contribution if we have gold?
The gold would be solely we give you enough to make this deal with the Mysticani, and we're not gonna force you to do anything against the rest of the Ivory Claw. You guys
Just give us
have
money.
no obligation to do anything. We're just gonna float this deal so it can happen. But you guys owe us, basically have to pay back the money we give you by going to Malaya's Mirror and getting our goods back for us.
So good.
Okay, I'm cool with this. I like this plan.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm down for this. I like the.
And that would get the Mysticani to help us with the Ivory Claw,
Well,
right?
And that also gets us your kids instantly.
Yeah, that gets them.
It gets us our kids. It
And-
finishes you for out
But
of
there is a
stuff.
catch though. There's still the clause in the contract that no matter what they want Yotev, unless, and he was open, certain sum, and we don't know what that sum is. So
It has to be
That's-
something of value, which is what they're giving you. They're gonna
Yeah.
give you effectively like, here is a shit ton of gold. Go,
Walk
you
in
can
with
give
the-
that to
shit ton of gold and say, here you go, take it or leave it.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for it.
Yeah, I like this
Cool.
plan both in character and out of character.
Yeah, me too.
So
But I like that it wraps up Ryan in time. It wraps up Dad, and we have like our next story arc, like plan.
Well, so even if Ryan can't make it next week, you can't, can you?
No,
Yeah,
next
yeah,
week.
he can. Next week he's fine.
Yeah.
I'm good for the rest of September except
That's what I
the
thought.
29th. The 29th is the only day.
Okay. So yeah, I'm good with this. I like it.
excellent.
Let's go.
All right.
All good, right?
Yotev after
I gotta pee again.
Yotev after mulling it over
After-
and taking a look at the group, seeing where they're trying to get their intuition of where they're going. Say, looks like we're going to Malaya's Mirror after this.
She technically, if you're going to go and work off of gold, she will hand you the silver back. Say, we still owe you a minor.
Oh, I guess that's true. I hadn't thought about that.
She hands you that silver back, and she sort of puts her hand onto your shoulder, who's been sitting there, says, "Go fetch them a sum, please." He stands to go off and collect some things for you all.
Michael, you had the ring this whole time, right?
She's got it right now.
No, she just handed it back to us, but like,
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, Aiden's been the one that's been holding it, I think.
has it been in my bag of holding? It has, right?
I don't. They gave it to whoever was talking to Arenas, and I don't know who that was. We were all there, but
I'm gonna take it. That's fine.
Okay.
I can hold it.
As that gets returned, some time passes and Tior comes back and he hands you a bag of holding of their own. Hands it over towards you, Yotev, and just sort of drops that in your lap. Says, this should be enough. Allow you to would recommend that you quickly take that deal before the Mysticani get any bright ideas. They are not the most trustworthy individuals.
Thank you so much for your assistance.
I look forward to working together on this Malaya's Mirror job. Appreciate your can-do attitude, all of you.
Side note, will we be able to just like, come in here going forward? Because the guy at the door was not very kind.
Oh, that's his job. I pay him to be mean.
That's
But
fine. Like, now we're cool.
I will I will inform him that you are all welcome. Especially, she sort of looks over at Killian and Varnex and just go, especially if either of you wish to test your mettle.
They do.
Excellent. Sounds like we have some new competitors.
We might be back.
Excellent.
Mostly said it because Dad's not here to be like, yes.
Yeah.
Would.
Very well, Tior. See them out, please. And she goes and she takes a step aside, and as you all get up and begin to be led out, Tior walks you past, and the turtle has only made it like halfway across the circle and is still pushing stuff, working his way. As you make your way back out, you are set free into the speakeasy. You can stay here if you'd like, or you can head out.
Before we like head into speakeasy proper. All right. Well, you know what? No, I'll do it like after, but I don't want to do it like in a public spot. I do want to take a look into the bag of holding and see like what is in there, or get tabs of what's in there.
How are you looking into it?
I mean, I'm not sticking my head in there. That's definitely
cool.
certain.
So if you just open it up, you see the bottom of the bag.
Yeah. Because in order to get stuff out of it, I have to know what's in it, right? Or no?
Bags work two ways. You either have to know what's in there and you can reach in, or you can turn it inside out and all the contents will dump on the ground.
Okay, cool.
Which is straight up what I pictured we were going to do, is just be like, we are here.
Is it?
I want to know what's in there first before we go and like just hand it over.
Where's
not
our
trying to
bag
cheat
at?
it, but like.
Oh, there it is.
Where's
on the Foundry. I was trying. They changed it. It's not a bag icon anymore. It's in the journal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
I think we should head back to the inn we've been at and kind of let Lisbeth know, or find out what if she's noticed anything happening at the trench.
You don't just want to go straight and get the kids and then take them to Lisbeth?
Well, that's going to start a chain reaction of I'm going to go to make the deal.
Sure, but like...
I'm going to go to the temple, consecrate it for me.
She wanted to be there.
Right.
Get the kids.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just saying that will, if we do it right now, it's going to start a chain of events, which is I'm fine with. Because that was what my plan was.
So we go get Lisbeth and then we go?
You guys go up to, go back to the inn, go upstairs to Lisbeth. She has next to her a sheet of paper that she's torn out of her journal. And you see that there are notes on it that basically say, that basically describes each person that has entered and exited through the front door of the trench in the last like hour that you guys have been gone, and is still working on something physical in front of her. So you all walk in. She sort of turns around quickly to check to make sure it's you. Back. Just wrapping some stuff up. How'd it go?
Did you finish working on what you've been working on?
Not yet. Need another couple hours, but should be done soon. What is the plan? Are they working for us? With us?
Well, we are able to make a deal. They have given us the sum that is needed for Varnex to be able to fulfill his part of the plan, so that I would not have to go away, and we will get Vincent and Tanya back out.
This is great. This is better than great. This is perfect.
Yes. Varnex still wants to do his thing,
Mhm.
and very important. Things could still get hairy. Not sure.
Mhm.
I want to be prepared for the worst. You know. I think that's a good idea. But from there, I believe that you, Vince, and Tanya need to get as far away as you possibly can.
Let's
As much as I
assume-
would love for you to potentially return to Upper Duke, I would consider going elsewhere.
Ooh. They could go to Zadash.
They could go to Zadash. There is safe haven there, technically.
sits down with a bit of a weakness.
I mean, I can tell them they can go stay with the sisters and just send them with a letter with the sisters.
Yes.
To, like, just help them get on their feet type of vibe. Not a, like...
And
full-
Beauregard is over that way too, and she could probably help. The only
And I
other
can
place
send
that I
them
could
with
think
the
of
letter,
would be Diastuck and having her work with Terry and Derrington.
Well, not to speak badly of Hubbard, please don't take it that way. But Zadash may be a nice breath of fresh air because it's so drastically different. And that
I
might
agree.
be something that they need.
I agree. I think that could be a good idea, but ultimately it will be up to them about where they go. If they decide they want to, if you all want to decide you want to stay in Hupperduke, that is up to you entirely. Just looking looking out for you.
Suppose that I can talk about it with the children. Uproot everything from Hupperduke is not a small ask.
No,
We'll have that conversation when they're back. I don't want to think about this right now.
don't. You don't have to right now. Let's get them back first. Then you can decide. I think before we go, because we can wait a little bit. You still have some time. It might be valuable if we finish what you're working on.
Right.
I'll help you
Is this-
whatever you need if you need it.
Is the tent up?
That's a good question. Is the tent up?
No,
Is
it
the
hasn't
big tent
been.
up?
I took it when we left the
Right.
put it up, but not. No.
Yeah.
Would you be able to set it up for us?
Are we are at the end, right?
She's only
Mhm.
been doing this small one, right?
I
Yeah.
have currently. It can't fit. The big one can't fit in here.
Fortunate. All right, we'll have to do it here then.
Alright.
Did you want to check what's in the bag?
Do you need the big one for a specific reason?
Workshop.
Access to
It'd
a
be-
forge would be helpful, but I can work without it. It's all right.
We've got the wagon, right?
Well, it's not a covered wagon, Dad. The tent-
But we've got the wagon, correct?
yeah.
And it's sitting in the stable. Go set it up like we had going down the road.
The intent is I don't want anyone to see the wagon within town or the tent within town
Why?
Yeah.
because I
'Cause-
don't want people to know I'm here. Like I don't look like myself right now at all. and I have-
Okay, that's fine.
I could also open in the bag here since we're inside. Yotza will flip the bag inside out just to see what's in here.
Bars of gold hit the floor, as well as sort of wrapped like a cocaine package are these bags of a almost like teal blue powder.
Do I know what that is?
Make an Arcana check.
Yeah, I would like to know what that is.
Make an Arcana check.
I have a guess.
Ha ha!
I'll DM
I
you.
got a natural
Oh.
20. Or
I got a
26.
19.
Suck it, Ryan.
For a I guess I rolled it. That's not even a natural 20. That's just a total of 19.
Yeah. So both of you are aware that this is a refined form of residuum.
Okay. I had
A lot
feeling.
of goddamn money. That
sense.
these are worth. And so this is very much like we don't really have enough in raw. We're not gonna like empty our coffers necessarily. So here's something worth a lot of money that you, even if you can't use it, you can absolutely sell it and make that money. As far as the rest of, so pull that out. There's also a couple of gems that fall out as well, like a bag full of gems, like a leather pouch, and what appears to be a large coin of some sort that has a silver sort of necklace piece around it, sort of like a giant medallion or medal.
Does the insignia look familiar at all? That's on the coin. Like, would I recognize what? I'm so sorry, I've been up since 6 a.m.
Fair.
I'm not normally this tired.
No, I also assume above board that we're gonna put all these contents back in,
Yes.
and I alone am gonna walk over with the bag to make the deal, since it was me alone the first time.
Well, they
'Cause
know
here's what
we're
I'm
all
thinking.
here.
Here's what I'm thinking. Now that I know everything that's in this bag, I'll just start pulling out the gold bars and see how much I have to stop at. You see what I'm saying?
I think we would keep an eye out for anything. You can probably keep Kenji at post to signal us if we need to.
Well, I don't want to take the sparkling back in there again.
No, but we could
He's
probably.
not going to leave the sparkling, so
Yeah, that's true.
When you're looking at it, it has. I don't like this image necessarily, so I'm gonna change the way it looks a little bit. Because I'm
sorry.
Particular. Yes. It is a image of what looks to be a winged woman, where she has like these very fine looking robes that are wrapped around her person, and then these two gigantic wings on her back, and she's has her arms sort of up at her chest, where she's clutching and holding on to what looks to be represented as like a mote of light, sort of held to her chest. Is the insignia. So,
all right,
taking out gold bar at a time.
How many gold bars are there?
5.
5 gold bars. How many packs of the two bags
of residuum?
How many bags of jewels?
1 bag of jewels. It looks to be about 250 gold worth.
I was gonna say, how many is each bar of gold worth?
That's a great question.
1,000 platinum.
It would be gold because it's gold.
What is gold really? If you think about it long enough.
It's just a rock.
Yep.
It's
I
not
got
a rock.
rocks all
It's
the
metal.
time.
It's a mineral.
If I play you next week, if I had to. Ah, yes. Your Russian accent will very quickly become a different accent. Not by choice, but because I cannot do it.
I guess it can be.
Oh, nope. Hard.
According
nope.
to the DMG, a 5-pound gold bar is worth 250 gold pieces.
Oh,
That's
shit.
it.
So, apparently,
That's a lot still. 250 gold is nothing to scoff at.
So
So-
5
Yes,
of those.
we're walking around
Awesome.
with like platinum, but
so
you know.
1,250 gold pieces
For the 5.
is what
Right.
you're gonna show them and try and entice them.
1,500 gold.
plus 250, so that's 1,500 gold plus the residuum and the amulet.
Yeah, but we're pulling them out one at
Medallion.
a time because
And then- and the jewels, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's
so the
250
jewels.
for the gems.
Yeah, so that's 1,500
Okay.
plus residuum plus.
And what's the residuum worth?
Residuum itself, that's a lot of fucking residuum.
Everything.
That's a
It's worth
crap
the
load.
rest.
I'd probably put each one of those at about 500 gold. So that's 1,000 gold worth of residuum.
Okay. Okay.
And then the amulet.
I like want to know what the amulet is, but I don't know if I want to roll for it.
That's all right.
Because we know what the symbol is.
So that's all of it that's in the bag.
Yep.
All right. Put it all back in.
Plus, if you want to throw out the bag's also worth something.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that and get another free bag of holding.
Yeah, let's get let's get a free bag. Everybody gets
You
a
know
bag of
what?
holding.
That's for sure what y'all need is another bag holding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all have that now.
If I
And now that I know everything that's in it, I can pull that out, right?
Correct.
Okay.
What did you say? What was the medallion? I'm sorry.
It's just an
Winged woman, robes around holding a mote of light in her onto her chest.
Vote down. That was an incomplete pass.
If for some reason we just wanted to like one hit KO this his rival, could we not just take all of these bags of holding and put them inside one another?
You can certainly try.
We just need to find an archer to affix.
You can certainly try.
Yeah, that is true.
You could also try to shove his head inside the bag of holding and then just hold it there.
It's 10 minutes worth of air though, which is unfortunate. I know because we smuggled somebody in a different campaign, and it's not
That's
fucking fun.
valid.
They did almost die twice.
We once put a dragonborn in a bag of holding, and we would open it up. He would stick his head out, breathe fire, and then go back in the bag.
That's cute.
Just gotta get them the necklace that makes it so they don't have to breed adaptation, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Then they can live in the bag of
Or
holding.
you just put Killian in there because Killian doesn't need to breathe.
Yeah, there you go.
True.
Maybe we have to
That's
open it wide enough.
That's your new home, Killian. Congratulations.
This
He's
is
our
my
Pokemon.
now.
Well, technically, does
Billion.
Kenji need to breathe?
No. That's
we
two
can throw
of you.
Kenji in
Y'all
there.
can
too.
be roommates.
Try
We
and
got
get
2
it. How
Pokeballs.
dare you?
We got 2 Pokeballs.
All right.
You-
So
Let's load it back
you take
up.
the bag.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and get this setting set.
Loading it back up, and I'm helping Liz with her
Yeah.
builds.
Yes. Make
I'm gonna-
a Smith's check for me.
Of course.
I take it back. It's the same as before. Do you want to roll? Does she roll? Or how would you like to do? It's the
I
same
would
as
like
before.
I would like to help her.
Okay. So she's gonna make the check
With advantage.
with advantage.
Advantage.
Yeah, because this is still her build, so I want to help her.
So she has a plus
The
7 to this.
Yes.
So /R 2d20. Keep highest 1 plus 7. 21.
Nice.
Plus another 4. Plus
25.
genius.
The two of you get to work and are she is incredibly close to this being done, and as the final pieces are being put together, she you and her affix this final piece on top of it, and as it's affixed, you take a step back. Here's the problem. You helped her out, you've figured out, you've built this thing, you're still not entirely sure what it does.
Gotcha.
It's a little hard to tell because it just sort of, it looks a lot like the suit that you've built, but there's a lot of wild modifications, including the fact that it's not something that you're able to step into. Like you would not be, like no one would be able to fit in this thing. In fact, like there's not a single person who is small enough to get into this thing, so you're not sure how it's supposed to function because there's clearly like a hollow space in the front for something to be in there, or someone to be in there. And it's at this point.
Does it look Calcifer sized?
It looks exactly Calcifer sized. It's at this point that she takes the pot that Calcifer's in and basically just dumps him on top of it. And with fire elementals, they are able to slip through cracks of, I think, as little as an inch. 1 inch wide without squeezing. So he just sort of slots himself right in there.
Yeah.
As the fire elemental, the biggest problem you had with your armor was a power source. How do you power something that needs to last this long? But a fire elemental itself is its own power source. So the heat that he gives off, you watch as it sort of brings it up, and it basically looks like a little fishbowl in front with a metal suit around it, kind of like Mike Wazowski. And then little robotic legs and like these tube-like arms that start to sort of move and function on their own. And Calcifer Foley is like trying to figure out how this works. And one of the hands has this little thing that opens up and shoots out a gout of flame on accident, and is still like this little mechanized fire elemental suit to walk around and could be controlled by Calcifer.
Yippee!
We got a little Iron Man.
Little Iron Man buddy. I have a
I
stat
love
book
him.
for him. And I will probably end up giving it off to somebody next session.
We might need to kill him.
No.
He may in fact become too powerful.
He's my starter.
He's stop. GG, guys.
We built it for him.
As this has been completed, Calcifer now has a little like robo suit to maneuver in, so that he doesn't have to go into the endless void, and there does not have to be a debate about how to strap a pot to a horse. This last sort of thing to be done before the meeting. You've gathered up your stuff, and Varnex, correct me if I'm wrong, but you and you alone make the long walk across the plaza.
I will be, yes.
We will pick up that conversation next week.
Woo!
Oh, do we want to do inspiration? Does anybody feel like
Yes.
there was something for inspiration tonight?
I almost died.
You did.
I brought this party
I would
back.
say give it to Cassandra.
The reading was
I loved our group reading, Caleb. That was so cool. If we could give Caleb inspiration.
He'll
That
use
was-
that
I'll-
against
I'll-
us.
hey,
So fun.
I'll use it against y'all. Fuck yeah.
I was gonna say we're gonna let him use an inspiration against us, though.
That was so fun.
Now,
I really
Caleb,
liked that we all
only
got to
use
roll.
them that benefit us.
I like that
Yeah.
Kalsberg has like a walking
Oh.
device now. That's
Yep.
something I
Yeah.
really enjoy.
I mean, we can't give it
Is
to
that-
Liz.
Mm,
I mean,
I
No.
didn't know what to do
You'll
with
know next
Calcifer
time.
because I didn't intend for Calcifer to stick around necessarily.